Hi everyone! Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Wow, my mic's picking me up super loud today. Here, let me turn that down just a hair. But yeah, welcome. No, you're special, Momo. You're special. Welcome Turtle, welcome Sheen, welcome Green, welcome everyone lurking in chat. I appreciate you being here. We are gonna play some Power Wash Simulator for the first time ever. It's going good. I'm so glad it's Friday. So glad it's Friday. Just like 100 times over. Glad it's Friday. So I hope you guys are too. I forget that I changed Momo's nickname every time in OBS, and all I see is ooh. Yes, you can assign people nicknames in chat in OBS. I wonder when Twitch is gonna do that. Like, let you give your friends nicknames. That's like a cool suggestion. That would be awesome if they let you give your viewers nicknames. That way you know, like, because if you're me, like, your viewers change their names, like, throughout the years on you, and you'll be like, wait, how am I supposed to remember out of, you know, thousands of followers that you changed your name 500 times, you know? That would be a great idea. They should all just give you nicknames. That would be cool. Crisis! Welcome! Oh gosh, there it goes. I was gonna say it's not making noise, but it is. There it goes. Alright, I got the guys and the girls, and we're in the voice chat doing community night things. And let me go grab them and pull them in. And we'll get started with this Power Wash Simulator and see what it's all about. So let's see. Hi everyone, we are live.
Oh, hi.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello there.
Say it.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, so now I gotta join the game. So I'm at the main menu, and I just go to. I just click on Power Wash Simulator, and then
No. What?
join the community. No.
I don't
back.
know.
What? Oh, I'll spoke it once.
I don't know how they got there because I hadn't posted.
You don't know how they joined?
You go to the third one, I think, and it was like
Specials?
join.
Yeah, I don't have
1
a join.
to 6. It says something 1 to 6 players.
Let me click on this and see what.
There is a
happens.
room thing that you can type.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
say-
you wanna. Why is that not
I
letting
can,
me?
I
Shop
can jump
careers.
I
out
think if you
I have
click on,
shop, careers, specials,
yeah,
options, maybe.
click on career,
Career, okay.
and then
Career?
on the
free play.
something top.
Join
right.
co-op players,
Free
yeah.
play.
Yeah. Hit that.
There it
It should
is, I
say
see
something
it
about
now.
room.
Friends playing. I have no friends.
No, you're
Oh,
yeah,
no.
supposed to be-
Oh,
no,
there's
you
the
wanna
code.
do cross.
Cross
Yeah,
platform.
crossplay, yeah.
Okay. I was like, I have no friends. It's like, how? Copy. There we go.
How do I put down the damn thing?
So, all right, now I can go big screen so everybody can see. Okay, so here's default controls, guys.
Oh.
Escape
Okay,
raises
I
and
did it.
lowers tablet. Muscle selection. Select soap and select
Where's he
extension.
at?
So 2 and 3.
Oh,
Tab
you're reading the
show
thing.
dirt. WADS to move.
What the fuck?
Z and X to rotate and equip. C to aim. F to pick up. R. Okay. So just hit all the buttons. Okay.
Yes.
All of them.
Put my controller down and
just switch. Just hit all the buttons. We got this.
Why isn't mine loading now? There we go.
How about say I don't see you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you choose
It
mouse
was
or
something
keyboard?
like I was connecting and then I clicked out of the screen, I think, and it didn't connect me anymore.
Yeah, it shows you down
There
here
it
like you're
goes.
part of it.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
I'm rating things and stuff. That's why.
You're fine.
I won't clean until she's
Wait,
on this
how
one.
do you change your
You're
color?
clean.
I don't think you can.
Your color?
Yeah.
If you hit
Hey, I got
the
timed out.
the
What?
select button, you go to closing. But I have this unlocked. I don't know if we have any other colors. Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about
Oh, you
the
have
spray?
to buy the thing.
Yeah.
My
Like I said, I beat the
connection
game. I had it.
timed out? Wait.
What?
Hold on,
Why
let
is
me
every
try
time now?
again.
Yeah, same. I got timed out as well.
I haven't been.
I want to say
No,
I'm
I know,
learning.
So-
but
it.
we're still trying to join the game.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, because it's like loading at the bottom and it's like just taking forever to try to load.
I'm on Ethernet. and all that stuff.
Oh.
I'm connected still.
You're hogging all the space.
I am. It's
Yeah,
fun.
Wiggles is here too. Just fine.
See, the processing bar isn't processing.
Yep, same.
Interesting.
Maybe completely restart the room.
Maybe we were too slow to get in. It's my fault.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I could get in earlier very easy, but this is not working now.
I know you were in, and then also.
Yeah, I left to show Mono where to go. But...
You better be good at this. My house will need to
Oh,
be cleaned.
connected?
Alright, McGrubby, I'll do my best.
Well, I just left, so maybe that'll help.
I'll
Download
do my
again.
best. We'll find out. Oh, now it's letting me. Now it's loading, even though I need to cancel because you're
Yeah, it
starting
did
a new
this for
room.
me, and then it's still timed out.
It's almost like it should
Yeah.
be at 6 people. Maybe it has a hard time at 6. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looks like
I-
completely
I
changed.
said I
Did
was
you get new
shooting.
emotes too, McGrubby?
No, timed out.
Like this is new to me when it comes to all types.
Is there a new code for the room?
No, I
Yeah,
just
no.
switched
We should
room,
do a new
No.
but you guys are still here.
I just
It's
left.
it's not working.
Just close it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to
Finally
close
got
it.
accepted. This one finally got accepted. That's awesome. Look at you. Twerking penguin. Who knew?
So I'm gonna have to
Oh
take
my.
a picture of the code
Yeah.
because obviously.
Right?
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do one of those like random jobs, the unique ones.
It's gonna take a while. Right?
Yeah. I know. Give me a second.
Replay locations.
Let's play.
All the non-muscles. Thank you for the redeem. That's hot.
Where did you find the crossplay?
I need to
You have
work
to go
out.
to
I need to
career
get
and
big
then
muscles.
to free play.
I don't have something to show.
No. I was doing something else. I was gonna host
I
something
need to
else.
start doing 100 sit-ups a day. Or that's not push-ups. That's God. I feel like an idiot. I don't know.
I just don't know where the code is. For the...
Yes, I just said that. Apparently, I don't know which muscles do what.
You have to be in the game for the code.
Yeah.
Um.
Okay. Give me a second. Oh lord. Here, I
Thanks.
got you guys the code. I'm gonna put it in the
Yeah.
thing.
That's
Just have
crazy
mimic for a
emotes.
computer, or
Yeah,
computer,
it might be easier to have one of us hosting. this
Really?
computer.
For these little cutie muscles.
we can always start from.
Yeah.
That makes you want to swipe your credit card.
Yep, I'm in.
Look at Shane. Silently.
We're just in Mars.
Okay. So you guys are in, and the
Joining
new
you, Ray?
code is posted.
Yeah.
We can just join Ray without the code.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh god.
Because you're friends
Not me
on
though,
the...
because the Xbox.
There's no gravity.
no
Really?
gravity.
Fun.
Where the hell we
It's just the Mars rover, but
As long as it works, at least we'll know it works from your end.
also why did
I mean,
hear
I could have
myself?
created the room then, but that's cool.
I don't.
Oh, I know why I hear myself.
Is there?
Big
in
Robbie. Wait, too much. Oh no. Oh god, that's loud. Oh god, we're in.
You want to...
Watch you.
Yeah.
Just a little loud, right?
Yeah,
You
I
guys
just go
okay?
near 0.
We're gonna turn off the this. And turn this down, and
There we go.
gonna turn this volume down quite a bit.
Yeah, this is too small, but at least we know what
Yeah. It's just all I have because I haven't played it.
Oh, God, let me turn it down. Hold on.
You'll be alright.
Well, this seems like one of those.
Somebody's watching me.
You're dirty.
What?
Dirty kitty.
Oh, 2 levels, 20% depleted. No, I'm gonna
There we go. Okay,
I'm
now
gonna
it's not.
suffocate.
Now it's not as crazy loud.
Where do you see O2 left?
Oh, it just popped up over here, right?
Okay.
Michigan, stop cleaning it.
Well, I've got to do the job. Jesus.
Alright, let's see if I can figure this thing out.
Fine, I won't play. I'm gonna go back to the
You
space.
guys did a good job. I'm glad I could help.
It's nowhere near done.
I know.
Well, I'm just saying, just you can
Right
change.
mouse button, start spraying.
You can change the
Honestly.
room even though we're all in the same room. As in, you can change the room. You should have
Yeah.
more like.
Then you add. What is soap? That stuff you get later?
It helps. Yeah. It helps clean.
Soap usually helps clean stuff, yeah.
As it makes it easier to get the harder dirt off of it.
Ah.
But you can also just use a tougher like jet stream, I
Yeah.
guess, and it does the same thing. I never really
What is
used
that
soap.
sound?
Really
The
not a fan.
drone flying around?
The drone.
Or Wiggles flying around? How did you fly, Wiggles?
No, it's
Oh,
Try
you
and
just
jump.
jump.
low gravity.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let you guys do the work.
No, I keep hearing
She's
like
dirty.
moist noises.
You're too close to it.
Someone's spraying you.
Nah, different moist noises.
Uh,
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so you get a bigger area.
oh yeah. I'm
It's
hearing
always
them
good
too
to
now.
visually see the dirt. I know on the Xbox D-pad you can literally see all the dirt.
Yeah,
near the
you
bottom.
can use tab.
Yeah, on tab.
Oh, can
it's
you
good to know
squat?
where the dirt is. Yeah.
How do you squat?
Control.
Oh, there we go.
Like how
It's always good to,
Rain's a dirty girl. I had to watch her. There.
Huh?
up your butt.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm like a bidet. I'm walking bidet.
underneath
A little
it.
concerning, but it's fine. Hey,
Wait,
the body's
no, lay
clean.
down on the floor. Look at the bottom. It's still dirty.
I'm cleaning it.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
You can get inside these rims too. Inside the rims are dirty.
Trust me, sometimes you have to really get into the
Yeah.
crevice.
That's what I found annoying. It was really like if one
Brad,
speck is
it's
left, you will not finish it.
Yeah. It's got it. A fun note.
Ooh, I found the oscillating one.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you hit tab.
So is the money amount like each of us or individuals?
Individuals.
Really?
It's individuals because I have 7,500.
Oh, I have
Have $5.
Me too.
I have
Already
also.
$5?
You got 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me.
We just get the flight on my face.
You're not the boss of me, lady.
Ladies in the way. Gonna clean her.
A lot of the wheels have a lot of juice.
Yeah, I threw a lot of them, but
Like
Yeah,
I said,
and
if
then
you hit tab or hit the D-pad, you'll see all of it.
Oh, tab?
I think it's tab. That's what she said.
Oh, done.
Oh. Da-da-da-da.
What?
Dude, them what noises are.
Yeah, I have
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just spraying everything because it sounds good.
Yeah.
Am I still too close? This looks pretty clean.
Tires, wheelhubs, and a mystery
Who is pushing me around, Rain?
Well, it's not my fault you're in the way.
Wait, Rain! Pushing me out of the way!
Why did NASA even hire us?
She keeps pushing me all over the place. She threw me in the air. How'd you do that?
And you fell on the floor, though.
Yeah, this
How
was
she
so
did
has
that?
little dirt on it.
Or maybe I did that. I don't know. It's
okay.
okay. It's okay, guys.
the
You
D-pad
only
to
get
the
paid $20 for $1 million bot, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes.
Hold on, can I crouch under there? There we go, we got it.
For 88.
88%.
Ain't there yet.
What percent are you supposed to be? 100?
100.
100.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot more challenging than it should be.
This is a little. It's good.
Well,
that it
this
works
thing
on-
has like massive amounts of grooves and crevices, so most of the, everything I've seen people play is like flat surfaces, but I didn't pay that much attention either. Seems like an advanced thing to clean. And yeah, Turtle says we only get paid $20 to clean something for NASA. That doesn't seem right.
Hey, NASA, it's not as big as
The
you.
mystery hatch. So where's
The inside of this tire is a bitch.
Oh, good God. What? I need to open
Door
it.
hatch. Oh, up here needs one.
All I have is the mystery hatch.
Right now. Wait, how did I do
Maybe that's it. Maybe you gotta get in there and go crawl. Can't get in there. That's Rain stepping on me again. Shoving me underneath the machine. I'm stuck!
Man, that tire that's in that triangle place, there's spots in there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get while Rain had pushed me under there.
How did I pull that up?
Let's see.
I don't even know how I pulled that up, dude.
What is it? The thing that shows you the dirt? How do you do that? Step, bro.
Press
I'm
tab.
stuck. Oh god. No! You made me say that. Tires, wheel hubs, mystery hatch. Mystery hatch we gotta clean? Do we gotta like
Yeah.
open the hatch?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like,
Show dirt tab. So I hit tab. I don't know how you're supposed to tell what's showing dirt. Oh.
It lights up like a orange.
And
all
yellow?
we have to clean is the hatch, it looks like, and it won't pull up.
Definitely. Is there something else around us?
There's a little drone.
There's a bench. If that counts, that's for us. stand on the game.
Yeah.
Oh, join it.
I'm just gonna spray everything.
But sometimes it's like this where you just have to really just find the X.
Oh, we got something else.
Oh god.
Fire.
Someone is attacking me and my controller vibrated on my chest while I'm over
Yeah, I
here.
know. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or maybe when Mona messaged what? Taking her arms out. In the menu, it shows what's left to clean. Yeah, I see that on the left. It says, I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
on the
we'll,
stream can see it though. I
mystery
don't know if
hatch.
my head's
Yeah,
covering
this
up.
wheelhouse right here.
Oh, my head is
I
covering
found the
up.
hatch. It's over here, though.
You found it?
Yeah, right over here. It's if you look behind you guys.
And I gotta find the thing for
And I got this, guys, for you.
chat
Some
box.
nice little
I think
pairs.
you guys are gonna move stuff around.
Spray it down.
There. Out of the way of the things.
It's over here. It's not even close to that. If you look behind you
I
guys,
take care of hedgies.
where I am.
Aw, you're taking care of hedges? Go on top and look at the back of it. Oh, I see what you're talking about. This thing? Under the people's feet?
Come on, Emma, get off there.
I'm coming back. Here,
Michigan!
see me. Hello, guys. Do you see me?
Oh, bro.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
What?
I'm not even
Oh.
close.
What?
You're
See?
standing on top of the camera.
Am I? Then I'm
Yes.
not there. That's
Fine,
not
I
where
found it.
am. That's not where I am. The game. It's not even on the.
Shows on the top left. Yeah, I read that. It says mystery hatch, but I don't know where that's at.
It's literally, if you guys go behind
Here.
the
Right here.
the robot wherever behind and keep walking this way, you'll see a little hatch. It's not nothing to do with the robot.
So then we can't just clean it or something?
No,
Here.
it,
Wait. Just stop looking at the thing. This way.
We can see where you are already.
I see it. I see it.
Can you see Wiggles at least?
I mean, yes, but I don't think. I see
Yeah.
your spray
Mm.
for enough one.
There's a secret hatch that I'm spraying.
I'm spraying it too, and I don't see
I
you.
don't see the hatch.
Weird.
So if you stand on top of the here.
Oh, I
Maybe,
see it now. You have to follow the footprints on the floor. And there's a little dome as well.
Even the 88 is not.
I never even realized
You
that you
need
had
a metal cleaner bottle. Nobody has it.
I think I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
a metal cleaner bottle? Oh, body mounted sensor metal.
I mean, there's
Yep.
Welcome, Raiders! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream! Welcome, Silky Paws! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for that raid. I hope you're doing awesome.
I can go to the store and buy something.
Welcome up to us trying to figure out what the heck we're doing in Power Wash Simulator. I hope you had a good stream. Let's see, there you go.
Oh, space could.
Silky Falls, the mischievous trigger warning toting streamer who's not afraid to stir up some controversy. They've been diving into Nightingale with a side of sass, questioning paradise and causing global warming in their virtual worlds. I have to do a different one. You guys won't be able to complete this one
Were you
because
able
of
to pick it up?
the metal thingy. Yeah.
Is it
Especially if
like
you can't buy it. Can I here to steal your bath bow?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll bet you did
toaster?
one then.
Oh no. What if I told you I don't
That
have
sucks
a
because I can't
toaster?
clean underneath him.
I don't have a
Keep moving.
toaster. I guess you already stole it last time. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, Chad is saying we need a metal stove because it says metal, and we don't have that, so that we can't advance any further because we can't.
No, I don't have soap either. I managed to get
Yeah.
100%.
You can clean it. It just takes longer.
Where's
Yeah, yeah,
the-
I'm about to say,
oh,
you
we
don't
each
really
have to do
need
it?
soap.
Yes.
I guess.
Oh.
All of us have to have
Well,
it?
that's nuts.
That makes no sense.
We
And
all-
it's
we
down
all
under
have to
here
be-
somewhere?
Really? I didn't know
No,
that was
the
a-
hatch is not underneath that.
You have to
Follow the foot. Yeah.
Oh, so if we
Follow
cleaned
the
it all, somebody else we
footsteps?
have to leave.
Yeah, follow those weird little footprints.
Oh, the alien footprints?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Weird.
sucks I can't send you there, but... It's behind the... No, is it? Wait a minute, it's in front of the robot. If you go that way.
So you have to follow it in this direction.
And put him down it again.
Right, and you can't watch
goes all
underneath
over
them
the
until you
place.
do.
Yeah, I've already watched everything, so I guess...
Yeah,
You didn't follow it all the way. Because it doesn't go around that completely.
I mean,
If you go left from the thing, so face away from the rover.
I can walk all the way around these footsteps. She said I didn't follow it all the way.
You didn't follow them all the way.
I did, and then I came back. I
Nope.
don't want to go way out here.
You have to.
Oh, I see somebody. I see
I do
Michigan
not
next to me.
clean under the
Here, let me pick up the gnome.
Oh, so it's
Oh,
not
I
even
wonder-
near the machine.
Wait, it turned black?
It's red
What the
now.
heck? There's a gnome!
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Oh no.
Hey, Michigan, can you pick this up?
Oh, what the fuck?
It's moving
Wait.
with me.
How are you? How?
Silky!
Yeah, I don't get it.
Stream
It's
Streak
literally
10, dang,
fine.
stealing your toaster? You mean
We're
steal?
glitched out.
Strategically
Like,
taking
look,
equipment
actually.
to another
We definitely
location. Yes,
are.
I might do that.
Let's go to another one. 'Cause I literally... Because all the work should be together anyways. It should not be everybody has to get 100% done.
Interesting.
So it's borked?
Yeah, let's just go to another one. This one was weird anyways.
Yeah.
It sucks that you can't just do... Can you do the van, like the very beginning one?
Alright, exit out of this one.
Yeah.
No, because she can change it when we're still here.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
just
So you don't have to
changed it.
exit.
I'm still at the rover.
Me too.
Sure.
I went to the gnome one.
Gnome's
maybe
name.
you-
But yeah, I'm
Go to
pretty
the-
much
the-
beat,
to the
so we'll be
bonus
lurking. Thank you so much
So
for that
it's
raid.
video,
Thank you,
maybe?
thank you, thank you. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Thank you for bringing everybody over here. Welcome everybody from Sulky Stream. That's lurking and listening. This is my first time playing this game, so you have to bear with me. We're still trying to figure all this stuff out. So,
Interesting.
but yeah, welcome. It's like
Maybe we'll
really
have somebody
good.
else. Oh, maybe.
I see what you mean though, that it's slowly planes.
It might have to be.
You know what?
Replay, I have all.
I am too ADD for this year, I know. I will gladly watch you guys play.
There now. Oh, we have to spray it down farther. The hatch really needs like a lot of layers spray because I'm at 98 now.
Yeah. I want to just clean sidewalks. I don't want to clean spaceships.
One thing we can do is just watch. you
I
guys
made
play
it.
a lot campaign,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and we'll just.
I finished. I made 100% finally. For a whole $15.
Yeah, I know.
I say you guys do co-op. One of you guys with campaign, so you guys can at least get that going. You won't be.
Because we can't clean anything but spaceships, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think
Since
you
we
guys
haven't
do that.
played.
I'll just watch and drink and watch you guys like a supervisor. know that's.
See you, Mono.
I'd say
Alright.
you and like Kimona.
100%.
Well, it's only 2 people. I can't. Like I said, I'm not picking this.
So if I
It's
pick
gotta be Mono who chooses.
create,
Ah,
so if I picked create a room, it's just gonna like do the same thing. It's gonna do the same exact thing to clean.
No. So if you do start career, I don't know.
15 for $1 billion mission, right? What if I messed it
Start
up?
career.
Thank you,
Yeah, just
Windows.
start
Thank you so much
career
for
and
giving me
then
time.
add
Thank you.
whoever you want.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh,
Oh, I just clicked
Bonus
start.
jobs 1 to 6. There's free play 1 to 6. Why didn't we do free play
We
versus
can't do
bonus
that
job?
because we haven't played Mono. We've never played before, so neither of us can host that. You have to go through the campaign for it.
That stinks. I just want to play free play.
I know.
Hello.
Hello there.
Okay.
How goes
what
it?
about the specials?
Well,
Very good.
Wait,
Everything
go to the
scrubbly bubble?
specials. Go to the specials.
What?
We can do Tomb Raider free play.
Free play.
Yes, I think.
I don't have specials.
Oh,
Oh no, you have to go all the way back out.
I'm not
One more.
sure if
One
we
more
can,
back.
though.
Yeah, like the main.
Okay.
menu.
Oh, to
no,
the right it says
you
war.
need to complete it first. I'm sorry.
Never mind. False
Oh.
alarm.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's gonna have to be
So
a start
career.
career thing.
So I wonder if I can just start a career and like clean it for like 5 seconds and leave if it unlocks it.
I think you actually have to complete it.
I just say,
Ah.
well, you can't have you and somebody else.
Okay.
Camping.
I can't see
Go
the
up
bonus jobs,
hosting
though.
available once job is started. Try to clean Martian spacecraft would be a so a task. Oh, what about a task? Words are hard due to the
Just
dust
just
storms.
in
Yes.
task.
Yeah, just say campaign with somebody else.
Yeah.
So if I do this, see, this looks so much easier. Cleaning a van than cleaning a spaceship.
I guess Mona's doing career on her own.
I don't know how to invite people. It said I could do it once I start. It said I couldn't do it until after I started. So I don't know how I invite you now that I've started.
You should still be
You're right there.
able to.
Yeah, there is a way. I just don't know the exact controls on.
I don't know.
Open the
See,
tablet.
escape.
Tab.
Friends, aha,
Yeah, right there,
crossplay. There we go. Crossplay is one.
Well, you don't really need crossplay if you're going to be
No.
playing with one person.
Could allow another player to join. Confirm. Okay.
Players go up.
Invite friend.
Now you just have to invite one of
Oh,
them. And
You
then
don't
dang
have
it.
to invite. I'm joining.
Okay. I just showed the world the code.
But there's only 2
Okay.
people that can, yeah.
Oh, you turned off crossplay, but that's okay. So. Here, I'll get the other side.
You know. I mean, it's pointless task you'd be doing over and over forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the dust. Just be like, yeah, we just added water to a dust
We had
storm.
a bit of an interesting day. We took out some rotten limbs.
I'm just gonna make a
rubber
mess.
history that's twice as tall as our house.
I do want to play with the settings on this because I can tell already it's trying to like trigger my motion sickness. And I'm like, really? I don't want that. Some of these windows are extra difficult, it looks like.
I know.
Yeah, you just have to go to the little. To the red one. Or that.
Yeah, the like extra power walking.
Eventually, you'll have one that spins. So it makes sense.
It removes the van outside my neighborhood place. They're finally going. whoever moves in there is going to need a quality pressure washer. Oh god. Video game. Logic. Yeah. How does this work? Getting paid to wash your own car? I guess I paid myself in business hours for washing the vehicle, the company vehicle.
Oh, a big tax write-off scheme.
Yeah.
It probably is.
I use it.
I mean, it needed washed, and I put the hours in, so I had to pay myself, I guess.
Oh, a continuous improvement, right?
Yeah. Yo.
You.
Gonna leave all the spots to drive you
I
guys
don't
nuts.
think we want to do that. We want to
Not
French
saying
do it.
but
French Guillain's.
I don't know why it made us all do the hatch. So we all have to get 100%.
No, it's a total between both of you guys. Not. It can't be that way.
well, this one is, yeah.
It's like both of you guys equal the same number.
And you're competing for.
Well, that's clean.
Not done.
I guess it's front window.
Yeah, I can't do this. I'm out.
Nah!
I'll watch.
Brothers.
I'm just gonna.
You're
be a
like,
supervisor.
no, thank you.
This is a game that I
Watch
think I like.
sidewalks.
If I sit there and I need to like zone out, that I could sit there and like by myself maybe do.
No, that's what I did. I played
Yeah.
this game for 6 to 8 hours.
Sitting here like trying to hang out and be social, and while I'm doing watchy, it's not working.
Well, we'll just talk to them like through their earpiece.
And to you as well.
I will
Oh,
much
there it
rather
is.
watch.
Found it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, when we get bored, we can always change it to golf. I don't mind either. So,
Marble, maybe. I don't know, until they do it.
You call it.
yeah.
I must say that now sitting back, it is much more fun to watch than to do.
I think it is more fun to watch because I feel like I'm.
Well, not for me. I beat
Although
you.
that van is looking
bumpers,
very shiny.
windows.
You're
Wow.
doing a very good job.
Just look at a fresh paint job now. What window did we miss?
And then you got wing mirrors
That one?
too. You got the mirrors.
2 wing mirrors. Oh.
And then the mirrors, green mirrors.
No, it's mine! I can't even reach against this dang stool. We got $165 just to wash our own car. I wish that was a thing.
You did. I got $36.50 out of that. Some bullshit.
Well,
That
you're an
means Mona
employee.
just did a better job at it.
Yeah.
I think it's
No.
based on the percentage
No.
of dirt
I'll
you
go to
clear
Dolly.
away.
I think we just call you the help.
Yeah. There's no union because she'll fire you. So-
Moral
Yeah.
support.
You get minimum wage. Sorry. Apparently.
Or supervisor.
I do be supervisor for sure.
You missed the
Yay.
spot. You missed the spot.
Hey, you missed the spot.
So then how do you officially leave when you're done?
Without coffee on the
Oh, you
ground,
go
there's
hit
no
that
spot.
exit button, I think, again, and then you go to the campaign.
Oh, it just like replays what all we
Oh, yeah.
did and then rain on the roof.
Wait till you like, the tree now.
Hey, someone's gotta clean the roof.
And then you go
Clean
to...
the back garden. Oh my god.
Yep. This one's a little longer.
See, now you get your wish. Now you can
Oh
do some
my God,
sidewalks.
that one was
Why
so
would you
Yep.
clean a garden?
Okay, we're gonna do sidewalks and then we're gonna switch to golf.
Oh yeah.
No, it's gonna take a little bit longer than you think.
Mhm.
I believe it.
That's fine.
Rain's just gotta get faster. I'm gonna catch this Pokemon. I can see Rain playing this game for the next week though, and us all watching her play in Discord. It's gonna be a thing.
Hop in, say hello. Gotta go back.
Well, Good luck with your trees.
So we gotta do every one of these stones, I bet.
Someone else does.
Yep, even the sides. Make sure.
Oh,
Hello,
do we have to do
I'm going.
the doors and the walls and everything?
You can probably go a little bit wider and then just.
So can I make it the nozzle wider? How do I do that?
Yeah, you can.
Mono,
2.
if you're
Uh-huh.
worried about your motion sickness, I don't know
Uh-huh.
what the button is, but if I pushed up on my D-pad to change the thing, let me look at what it is for.
You know what? Never mind. They left.
Hello there.
Obviously,
Back
That
there.
doesn't
Okay,
do it.
D-pad.
less
Oh,
power.
aim mode. Hit C.
See?
Yeah,
Okay.
it makes you stationary, and you can just move the phone.
Oh.
So that'll help with your motion sickness.
I don't know.
Oh
this
yeah, that
feels
definitely
weird.
makes it better.
Yeah, it's obviously less power, but
Yeah.
nozzles.
Somehow that the sake of the store calls. I don't know if anyone
Wolves. Okay.
We're learning all the things.
it's
Do we have to do the fence?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I guess
the
so.
name.
Yeah, you have to do everything
Snorks.
that's dirty.
we call them snorkels, but it's probably snorks.
I call it
Pretty sure
snorkers.
it
Yeah,
is Snorks. They aired alongside the Smurfs, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember them.
snorks are cute.
I wish they hadn't ended the series so abruptly, honestly.
You know, or just
I just
there.
never liked it.
Just
Why does that still look like
Ripped
that?
Just
the end
clean.
because they canned it.
Yay, that one finally cleared.
Shame.
I do like that it blinks and it tells you that it's done. Oh no, Mona. You're one of those. Big spray, less pressure.
Well, like I said, less
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to go
It's
faster, but I
okay.
don't think that's the right way to do it.
No, it's not.
We don't
Not
here.
less thorough when you go fast.
Like, I want to like go exactly with the width of the board, but that ain't gonna thing, and I want to go straight up and
I
down, but I'm
always-
like all over the place. I'm
I
like,
always
yeah, no.
change what I'm trying to do. I know underneath that.
Or sorry, C? No, R to rotate.
No, yeah, rotating would be nice for the. I'm not trying to overcoat right now. I'm just trying to. I know too much.
This one is probably okay to backseat.
No, either or. I don't. I want.
I don't mind you guys backseating. No, I mean you were cleaning multiple platforms. It'd be hard to remember what's left. Yeah.
Tutorial.
I'm literally the supervisor right now.
We got all the micromanagers for this.
Hey Mono, you missed a spot.
Yeah, you missed a spot. Yeah, you have to go there. Yeah,
Right there! Right there! All the spots!
God.
You're only 10%, so. Yeah.
I know! Jeez.
I don't pay you good. I don't pay you good. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to beat the campaign again.
You wanna beat the...
Off.
You wanna play the campaign again?
Where you left it.
A journey that I will never. I have to go back to rehab for this game.
Okay.
This helps my OCD probably. I don't know what it is.
It's the cleaning aspect, I think.
Ah!
I don't clean in real life.
You know, This allows you the fruit flavor.
Does anyone care
It's
if we
just like-
listen to some jazz while we do this?
It's almost like the house got
You
on
can.
fire.
Yeah.
We're live.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's what I talked about.
It's almost like the house got
see.
on fire, but not on fire because everything's still up.
This is just a lot of mold.
Like, it's like smoke.
I
Did
wouldn't
it like
say it's
rain
mold.
for a whole year here? Is that why there's so
Was
much
it
mold?
mold or was
It's
it a
mold.
fire?
No, it looks like a
Moth.
fire, but there's no fire because the house is, the house is still there.
It's moss, guys. That's new nature.
Scorched lichens.
No,
Moss
we
is
don't
not.
nature.
This is
The
more
fuck?
smoky. There's no way that dark
We're
stuff.
gamers. We don't nature.
I've seen moss.
Gamer,
It's
I
not.
nature.
It's not like smoke.
You know what? That's fair. I
Turtle, is my cleaning method still driving you nuts? Am I fired yet?
No.
I'm gonna call the union. Like, why did you hire her? She doesn't even keep a consistent pattern. She keeps putting in her initials.
I'm gonna write my name, right?
I was about to say, you keep putting your initials in it. It's like,
There you go. There you go. A. A.
To be fair, what
Write out
she
a
does
K,
makes
you'll
me
write
more
K.
motion sickness.
T. There you
I
go.
did the same thing on the same map. I
There.
wrote my real name on it.
Did you? Alright, I'm gonna drive everybody nuts and just like clean.
Do random parts at once, and then we'll run some results
Yeah.
of the random part.
Gonna mess with
Oh
everybody's
my god.
OCD.
Oh my god.
No. I'm over
Looks like
here
you-
trying my hardest to clean this fucking pond wall. It's a bitch and a half.
I'm
the
like a
pond is-
5-year-old
pond is hard
with
because
with a pressure washer.
Love her little
Even
precious-
the
Yeah, there's a
lawnmower?
lot of
What
dirt
the
underneath
heck?
it, too.
We can't clean the
Yeah.
lawnmower. No more things.
Like I said, I actually love
Hey, Mark.
this game. I'm weird.
I know, but I didn't like this job.
Yeah,
There we go.
It was,
There we go.
it was one. Yeah, the first speed run, you would think.
All the things.
It wasn't too bad.
There.
There's some
Well,
big
brain.
ones, like the end ones. Holy crap!
It sounds like one of those. What did you say? The end ones, holy crap! It sounds like one of those. Those shows
This
where they
pond
do a house.
does not look like fun.
You have to do mansions. You have to do big, like pyramids.
The borders, buildings, like holy crap.
Yeah, yeah,
We graffiti
Hoarders.
skate
People
park.
out of it.
yeah, like hoarders.
Yeah, but then it's like containers everywhere.
It sounds like a crack
I
house.
don't usually watch people like that.
People
Oh, God,
actually
yeah.
can't walk in their house.
I'm just spraying rain.
Rain's getting dirty.
Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah.
I'm
She's down here in the pond causing trouble.
I mean, yeah, no, people just.
But they're,
I'm getting underneath.
well, yeah, you have to
Yeah.
go. You have to prone to get a lot of that stuff.
Can you imagine?
I've never played this game ever.
I can't stand to see ants in my house, let alone mold.
We never played this
To be
game
fair, I
before
do have
Michigan.
the best
Ever? Ever?
I have the best gun in this game.
Hopefully.
Like, I could use it.
No, it's just
This house has never been used outside, so it's super moldy. It must be a gamer's house. Never, like, nobody's outside ever.
This happens after winter here.
yeah. Hey, change this wall.
That's perfect. What you just hit the tab,
Sorry.
like that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly using the tab because
You know
you're
it's
just
clean,
you
right?
could be
It's
cleaning
clean.
nothing.
Yeah, but I'm cleaning the liner underneath.
Kamala just found like a random tool on the ground. She's like, "Ooh, what's this?"
Let me give them water.
They drown in the flowers.
There we go, I got that liner.
But yeah,
Oh god.
when I played, obviously, I always hit the tab, not tab, but it's a D-pad on that, but Because you could be cleaning the same place that has no dirt. It's like, well,
Yeah.
Oh, it's the first time it's ever shown up for me.
Hmm.
Usually I
That's
hit
what
tab
you-
and it wasn't doing nothing before.
There you
I
go.
think that one.
So you
spot
just
was-
hold it. Okay. Or no, you can't hold it. It just flashes for a minute.
yeah,
Yeah.
it helps you as you're not like cleaning something.
Washy, washy.
Those flowers in
Right.
real life would be so drowned because you're just like, you just
Right.
drown the whole place.
That'll be fine.
At least those plants are getting some good water.
Oh yeah, a
That's
lot of
what-
water.
Right.
That's
No, it's
important.
bleach water.
No, this is the straight water.
Yeah, it's better not
Yeah,
to
there's no
use
soap.
bleach.
'Cause you can put
Bleach,
soap.
I feel like just
Yeah.
makes the mold come back even more vigorous and hateful.
Yeah, bleach isn't great for.
Nah, it's not good for
mold.
inhaling.
I love cleaning with bleach though, but I don't use it very often.
I love,
Yeah, the only thing he
Places
does.
that need bacteria like to remove.
I love clean
On the
white
sidewalk, though.
bleach wash starch.
I hate the smell of bleach. I don't know if it's just me.
I actually
It's like the cleanest feeling in the
don't.
world. Like
I don't like the smell of bleach.
Mm.
first time you lay in them, it's like ah,
Beaches.
I just like to be dirty. That's good.
Do you guys know Deathloop?
We know what?
It's what we use here as well. Deathloop, it's like
It's like a bleach.
I have
in
two.
kitchen.
So
let me see if there's a American version.
Kiddo.
Nope, still
Being a
Datto.
nosy kitten.
It's British. It's
And Kimono, the red bricks there will probably have
Benzalkonium
something
chloride.
underneath it, so if you prong, you can
Oh,
probably see underneath the red brick.
oh, we do have a name.
I'm trying to not.
basically a
Mhm.
disinfectant and antiseptic, so it's used in hospitals, but it has a very distinct smell.
There's just a bird in there.
Well, not anymore. The baby birds
Yeah,
got
again,
evicted.
everywhere.
They got pressure washed into nothing.
Clean bird now.
Burst you into that.
It's very clean. too.
Sorry.
Washy, washy.
Wash your
That bird's never coming back. It's like, nope. That was, I got watered down. Like, why is there no birds in my birdhouse? Well,
Hello, darkness,
getting
my
water
friend.
aborted as a bird.
Mhm.
or water burden. Or water burden.
Well, that's the new term that we.
But
Waterboarded.
Nope, it's water burden
Well,
now.
one thing about this game I learned
Water
is
birding.
always
even more
underneath.
terrifying.
You want to clean the underneath, like what you're doing right here. Is perfect.
And washing the turkey carcass over here.
I sent a different photo to everyone else this morning, Momo, because I know you fear birds.
Thank you.
It was quite a hilarious photo, but I knew it would probably still freak you out.
That's the penguin.
You have a fear of birds?
Bird house
Can you describe it?
How do you?
with stand.
Uh,
I already did the stand.
Basically, it was a Snapchat filter that made you a worm and you had a bird chasing you. But you were like cartoon. It wasn't like it was really
This
a
looks
real
like
bird.
really dirty backyard.
I would have a
It
very
is, isn't it?
face.
No, it's like a fire hit, but only hit certain areas. It didn't hit the grass.
Yeah.
It didn't burn the house down. It's just
Okay, catch.
We're busy.
they're catching the soul of cleanness.
Oh no, you missed some spots, literally.
I got distracted.
It was like, ooh, a bird, and then
There was a squirrel.
Fine.
There was a
Squirrel. Bigfoot.
Right?
like I said, I do love this game. Once you get involved in it, it's good. You just have to get patience.
Get patience or get good or something.
Patience.
All the time.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you actually must start out with at least a little bit of patience,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
probably the least patient
You have to
person
get good.
ever. Yes,
That
that
and, oh yeah. I
also
feel like,
would help.
okay. This is that thing where Michigan talks about hit tabs so you know whether it's actually dirty or not. You can hear Michigan now. Hit tab so you know whether it's actually dirty or not, or you're just cleaning the shit.
About this.
Sometimes there will be crevices.
I'm gonna call the HOH and say, "How
HOH? You mean HOH?
HOA.
HOH, head of household."
Same
Big
difference, right?
I'm gonna call Big Brother.
Just kidding, no.
My dad watches
I know
Big
what you
Brother at
meant.
the time, so it just kind of stuck in my head.
Dude, I live in a HOA, man. HOAs fucking suck.
You better clean your.
Seems like
I mean,
there's
I
probably
get it.
always.
I get it, but they're actually not too bad. But like, if your lawn gets more than like 6-7 inches long, they'll come and mow it,
Dude, that's a lot.
and then send you a bill for it for $100.
Really?
Yeah, like that's a lot though. Like my grass isn't even get to 3 because I'm out there
That's messed
mowing
up.
it.
Like, why sign up for homeowners
No,
association?
I cut mine to 4.5.
What?
Yeah.
Well, depending on the lawn, if it's like St. Augustine grass or something, you have to grow it, do it taller. It's meant to be
Yeah,
taller.
we got fluffy like green blue.
Only one time a year.
Yeah, you probably take care of your lawn better. I just go out and do it. It's
To be honest, it's gonna sound so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't take care of it.
Oh my
I
god,
know
that
everybody
sounds so
around
you
me
take
has
care of it.
beautiful grass. You can walk on it. Like soft grass.
I pay somebody to do it.
You're
Why
so-
they don't like raging
Oh,
grass?
so you're the one complaining of... I'm the one that has...
Hey, Daddy! Back to James Cheek. Thanks for the lyric, guys. Hope you find this more relaxing than I do. I think it's definitely stressful for the person doing it. I think you have to want to sit still and do nothing.
It's more like, don't take it
Rating
serious
was
and just
45.
do what you're doing here.
Oh, what the fuck was this? Oh, that might have been me cleaning the fence.
Huh?
Or the trellis, I should say. Oh, the nonsense fence over here. I was cleaning the other trellis, and I think it came through.
Somebody's trying to write in very big letters.
Yeah.
Anyways, game of the
This
year.
patio is ridiculous. I'm just
Why
gonna,
are
like,
you using the small nozzle?
I don't know.
Me?
Like,
Well, yeah,
damn.
when it's a
No,
little
I
bit
can see what
lighter,
you're doing, but
Oh. That's
I
fair.
would use the white on this because it's not
White?
Yeah, the white nozzle. You'll get
Isn't
a
it gonna
lot.
take longer though?
Yeah, no, it makes it. There's some areas like that that would be a little harder, but if you look at like 90% of it, it's just normal.
Okay, so like do the whole thing and then come back with a smaller
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
One with
I
like
do
what's
that,
left.
Yeah.
It's like
I'd
it's
do
how
some
you
work.
want to do it though. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
It's like how dare you not do it exactly?
You know what? I'll wager those are pretzel rods.
And you can
in the
always go
world.
over the darker stuff too many times. And you'll get
Are
it
those
over.
pretzel
Right?
rods? I love
salty
those.
sticks.
Ah,
Get your sticks out.
it is.
That's basically how salt sticks. That's how they're called.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I'm
Are you
It's
dipping
late.
in
I
anything?
should be in bed, but I'm
no.
just eating again.
Don't worry about it.
Do you dip them in anything?
It's just I like pretzels. And I couldn't help but
Yeah.
notice.
What did you say that I
Bleeding Rain's
I
feet.
said, do you dip them in anything?
Why
Honey
can't I
mustard?
come around behind me while I'm cleaning the fence?
You do?
Dip them in honey
Oh,
mustard. If you have honey
no,
mustard,
no comment.
Yep.
Just kidding.
Like-
mustard.
I would have gone
like Dijon, not like that yellow fake neon shit. Like Dijon with honey.
Yeah, but I still don't like mustard.
Honey Dijon's the only mustard I actually like.
I would have gone with.
Oh,
I
and
mean,
you gotta get
basically
the
you're talking
picnic
about French
table.
mustard, right?
Yeah.
Pepper
A little bit of Grey
I don't
Poupon.
think we have anything else here.
Yeah, you mix that with honey and then dip your pretzel in that. It's amazing.
It's like It's
Sorry, I
not
just
like
realized
yellow
how much
rice,
water you guys
a
are
big
using. You guys
sweetness.
probably flooding the back.
It's like a sweet,
Mm-hmm.
somewhat bitter taste.
The idea.
No.
Actually, switch. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's up to you.
Have fun, Mono. Draw any stuff yet? Yeah, I wrote my name. Mono, you're leaving so much gunk behind. I know.
Scream my name, scream my name.
Like I said,
I'm like the worst pressure washer person ever.
you know,
Just
like
Who
go
just
on
said
there.
that? Who
you're like
just
a
said
temp.
that? Nice.
Other one, other her.
Nico, Nico,
Peace,
Nico! Welcome, Dash! Welcome to Steve!
Well, I know if in real life I'm gonna have to be the power washer.
Yeah, when we have our little commune.
Yeah, I'm power washer.
Yeah, not me.
I know who's in charge.
I want to I'll grow a garden. I ain't doing this. I'll grow fruit.
Do you know how much this hurts on your wrist, like in actual life? Holy shit.
I've done it. I've done it many times.
Yeah.
Power washer. In real life.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't care for it, but I'm also like
I never had an issue with
perfectionist,
my wrist,
so it doesn't
but
help.
Yeah, I never had an issue with my wrist just because I don't have the experience.
Is your boy?
You've trained them. You have trained them thoroughly.
Yes, yes, both of them.
And I.
Looks good, Mom. You're doing a great.
Thank
You're doing a great
you.
job.
You're doing
You're
good.
doing a
It's
great
like
job.
a bunch of
Right.
like adults clapping
I'm
at
just
kids.
like hitting the table. It's like go to.
Yeah, under the table, yes. It's actually very dirty.
Hey, it's
Kids
done.
threw a bunch of food underneath it.
Watch me. I'm dirty.
Wash me up, dirty.
I got
See, like,
older.
dirty
You
old
better watch
table.
that bowl.
Dirty girl. Brain's a dirty girl.
Okay, I'm getting the table.
Oh
fair,
yeah, I
though,
forgot you gotta do the
You
bottom of the
cleaned her
table.
a lot. You probably should clean Kimono though, because you're pretty clean because she hit you many times.
You know,
That's what I find funny about power washing. Like, you clean the rocks and afterwards you're very dirty because all the mud has like
Yeah.
just
But
got on you.
Why you wear a jumpsuit?
that's why you have a shower.
Yeah, I don't wear a jumpsuit honestly, but yeah, shower.
That's nothing for your clothes. The shower.
Nope.
That's called a washing machine.
Yep.
This is overness wearing this much stuff. Like, who ever does it?
And it's all sunny out too. Like, can you imagine?
I'll be super
Oh,
hot.
how
Sweating so
hot
much
it
right
is.
now.
Yeah.
I wear a poncho.
Hollow is not what's the
I
word?
think that one's done.
You think? Or do you
No,
know?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I only heard 2
What-
names for this.
What's the button you have to press again?
I'll
honey?
help.
Tab.
Oh, I'm just cleaning myself.
The thing is, it's good to go prone and stuff like, you know, what is that even a word?
Prone?
Yeah, prone. Because you can see the bottoms of stuff, see different angles.
Okay, we gotta get on top of the umbrella
Can
too.
you?
Yep.
Oh, how's that gonna work?
There's a ladder somewhere.
Stand on each other's
Oh, no,
heads.
you weren't prone enough.
Well, you can get up there by yourself.
I know.
I know, I've never played
I
this
think
game.
that one
I'm just
might
guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Garden chair. Last.
I don't remember the difficulty Markiplier had with house shutters.
No, the chairs are clean.
I'm just doing the umbrella now. I don't know what you're looking at.
Under my...
I'll let you think you can get the bottom of it, because I'm pretty sure I got all of them.
Let's see.
You sure?
Meow.
I'm not a coach, I'm a
Is
watcher.
that the last thing in here? No.
Mona, have you ever done like
Question
digital
about doing this.
drawing?
Yeah. Not much
Like-
though. I've done a little bit,
On
yeah.
screen? On Steam? On stream?
Yeah, I have. I
Yeah.
did one of my logos on stream. The lick one I did live on stream. The lurk, actually not the. Did I do the lick one? I don't remember if I may have did that one live too, but the lurk one I definitely did live. I've done a few of my emotes live, I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't think you want to lick while on this job.
Nope.
Don't. Turtle, am I doing it right?
Nothing positive.
What turtle? What? I'm the supervisor. He's
Michigan, am I doing it right?
I wasn't paying attention.
See?
It was a joke.
That's why I asked
How
Turtle.
dare you, sir?
I'm getting paid big bucks to just watch. Well, what you're doing is Turtle's actually
That's
is a
dirty
supervisor
shit.
Yeah.
that does the work. I'm the supervisor that's in a union, so I don't have to do anything.
I'm gonna do all the different parts. of
Well,
this
if you see
mower.
that dirt, clean it. It's really as simple as. Just don't flood all the water.
It's
going
too
into
late.
your
This mower is
engine and
never working again the way I
you're
cleaned
flooding
it.
Flood it, flood it,
Also, the
flood
dirt
I
it.
saw the shed flush.
Oh yeah, the whole shed has to go, even top of it. And all.
Yeah.
If only there was something to stand on.
There is.
Okay. Michigan! 10 stream streak. Ooh, Windows. So does the list not pull up until the end of what you gotta clean?
It's the last 3, I think.
Peek a hat,
That's what
okay.
I did.
Peek a hat I can do.
It gives you more. It gives you power.
Yes. Pressure washing power.
Yes.
You go brrr.
Power.
Go
You
bird.
have to catch all the dirt, right?
You're a dirt devil.
I
Those
don't
are
know how to say
dangerous.
it.
I would
Are
say
they?
more of a freaking
Yeah.
Blastoise.
Why?
Dirt devil?
Maximum?
Who's there?
They suck.
They suck.
Oh, I was thinking of a dust devil. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Dust Devils, yeah. Kind of scary.
I was gonna say,
Oh, now
dirt devil's
Tom and
just
Jerry
a
on
brand
the-
of vacuum cleaner, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Boy, they suck.
They're a cheap brand, though.
Meow.
They're not as reliable.
Dyson, much better.
Yeah. Fuck.
Dude, my wife's mom still has
Take a lot.
a Kirby. You guys know what those are?
They last a long
A
time.
what?
Yeah.
A Kirby?
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
Oh, we
They're
got a
so
Dyson. We
cute.
had a Kirby.
We actually, in our little town here, we have a Kirby repair store.
Wow.
It's like one of the only
Good,
ones
man.
really
Good
that's
business.
I
left.
didn't think those things existed anymore.
Well, people that have them and are taking care of them, and with now how easy technologies come to do full rebuilds on these,
So
is
like,
relatively simple.
We ran out of
it's
parts.
more
at
of like
the
a
store
corporate
pretty
thing
soon.
too. Like using Kirby's or something. Oh, this is kind of fun. Just like
A lot of
this is not gonna
hotels still
help.
use them,
That's
or
what I
a
use.
variation
Yeah, that's what I was
of them.
thinking. Like industries.
Wait, am
probably
I
still
thinking
use
of the wrong one?
Very true, Ron.
Are you thinking of, like, the Bissels?
No.
Kirby cleaner?
Yeah.
Are we
vacuum
I know.
cleaners.
Oh no, I was thinking about
Carpet
Henry.
cleaners.
Oh. What?
Not the
Yeah,
little pink blob
Henry
either.
vacuumed.
Who's I?
You don't have those, I don't think.
We were
I've
sucked,
No,
got
dude.
Henry.
Henry.
I don't think we have Henry.
You'll love it. Meet Henry.
Oh my god.
Nice. Oh, it's like our shop vac. Nice.
And you have to see it with the nozzle. It's so cute.
I'm
He's
cleaning
really,
my room.
he's really a little dirt devil. Look at his nose.
Ah.
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, those
That's
were.
really fantastic.
I don't know where they originated. I think maybe it's UK.
I'm about to say that
Yeah,
seem
UK.
like American thing. We probably would have
Hot
guns on
spots on this thing.
Scare the hell out of our cat.
There's a lot of it.
My cat runs under my bed. I shouldn't time or anything.
I wish it would like ding per side when you have a side done.
I
I
know.
Ooh.
So I gotta do the whole
I
sinking
wish you
shed
guys
before
just
it'll
got
ding.
good.
I'm
You're at
doing
91%
great.
already, though.
Oh god, Jesus.
Yeah, you wanna who?
I mean,
does most
Michigan,
of the
we
work?
have to do it all
Well,
by
I don't know. What's the
Oh, shit,
stats?
eat it too fast.
How do
I
you
don't
know the
know.
stats?
I've made $493 so far.
I made
Looking for
118,
percentages.
Because you're the help.
but I only get a cut. I don't get.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
I
you
don't
didn't
know.
even get a cut, because Kimono just takes all the money in this game.
Yeah.
Come on.
I was
Bad.
surprised.
Yeah, I think I
Sneaky
promised you
work
money, but
included.
yeah, about that. And then you get in your van and just leave while they're on it.
No.
I would.
Oh,
never
it did
that.
do a
It's too
side.
nice.
Did the
Oh,
front.
nice.
Some of them.
It does every part that is a part, which is weird way to say it.
Yeah, it's gonna get up under here then.
Money for the bigger percentages. Parts.
94 is good. Yeah,
That
64
side
is-
should be done then.
There's that little dot up there to the right.
Peach. What's up, kiddo?
Right there.
right
On the
And that's
bo-
it.
Or I guess that's the wood, isn't it?
there. No, that's part
Oh,
of the wood.
yeah.
On
never
top,
mind.
yeah. Up top is what you need next, and I can also see there is some dirt.
I'm thinking this wall's done and just didn't black.
No, I don't know. Maybe it is.
Come back.
I think now I gotta do the roof.
The roof. The roof. The roof is wrong, bro.
How am I supposed to get up there?
Very carefully. That's cool.
There's bird poop up there. Ew.
Where's the step stool? How do you use the step
On the
stool?
patio. Yeah, move.
Oh, you can move it?
You
That's
call
I
it.
forgot. No, you use the
I'll be right back. I'm
You
gonna
call it
refill.
stepson, and then you
you
just
use
step on
the
it.
mower. I think you can use the mower, right? I
He
can't
says, "Step
remember.
on me, mommy."
You can use that too.
No,
Well-
that's turtle.
I'm not even thinking about dirtiness.
That's what turtle says.
I would use that.
I just use the mower. Hey, there's bird poop up here.
Yeah. See, I know I played this game before. Like I said, mower.
Shouldn't you not pressure wash tiles on a roof? That's just gonna like take all the grit off the.
Depends. You can still pressure wash and power wash them. It's just you have to be careful about the pressure that you
It
use.
was like like the high powered, like like
You don't
probably
like,
use a little
yeah,
bit-
take all the grit off.
Yeah, you probably just have to use a little less. You just have to step into the bird poop because it helps with just helps.
You've got the yard 98% or just the shed 98%?
No, the whole thing, everything.
The whole 9 yards, lady.
And a lot of times when it comes to like 99%, you're like, what do I miss? It's like one little thing, like on
Mhm.
top of the tower. And it's like, what? Because at the end you do like I said, mass This is easy mode.
Is this easy mode?
Yes.
You're triggering all the buttons.
No.
I'm triggering it all.
Yeah.
Good job. You got the planter.
Mm-hmm.
The bomb has been planted.
There's no plan. Okay, it looks all clean.
It looks okay. Good enough, Lee. Let's get. What's the difference between 99 and 100? What are they gonna?
Oh my god. Almost.
I just want to say 100, and then I can cry finally.
100.
100, 100. Now you guys need to actually make a real power
Yay!
wash. And you're like,
That wasn't it either. What's missing?
Is it gonna tell us? Wait. Oh.
it would say 100. That means you have more than 3 things.
How did I get?
Are,
Oh, yes.
that just means you have more than 3 things. That's why it's not popping up.
Oh. So we gotta walk around hitting tab till we
Have
can
the
figure out what we missed.
lady and stuff. You could do it underneath. That still needs. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what lady was.
I wish you kind of knew when you pointed at an item.
That does.
You can
Been
go
there.
into tab, Mono. Use tab.
Go up to something.
I was using tab a lot.
No,
Yeah.
sorry. Escape?
No,
it tells
tab.
you. It
the
tells
dirt,
you what part of the job isn't done yet
Mhm.
as well. You
Yeah,
can
that
click
too.
Status,
on
so-
You can.
Stepping
Yeah,
stones
There you
and
go.
water bowl.
There's one, 65%.
That's edges?
What's so funny about 65 now?
Oh, it's almost 69. You just get a 4%
It's close
discount.
to it. Close to 60, but not 60. This is when the dog goes out and just makes a massive crap on it. You have to watch it.
Oh, I see. There we
Thanks,
go.
Dad.
I got 99 problems, but this
Guess
is
who's back?
back in me.
I don't know which stepping stone is dirty. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I
There
would
we
just go close to
Yay!
it and hit the
We
tab.
finished it!
Ah.
Finally! High five!
Yay.
Just stand on Rain's head.
Ouch.
All right, now go wash yourself.
Yes.
Watch yourself.
I feel gross after this yard.
Hey, it's
We need showers.
Hello
You
there.
guys need like a.
Oh, those splits. Okay. I made $615.
I made 136.
Hours work. That's pretty good.
Right?
Now to spend it all.
There, y'all can
power
watch
washing
that.
Equipment.
You gotta be more specific. I thought it was one of the fundraisers for a second. Jeez.
Power Wash
She made
Simulator.
$6 million. Well, she made $6 million actually.
6 milli?
For the kids.
A milli. Anyway.
Yeah, no, we.
We'll definitely have to be playing more of that. Oh my god, I had so much fun.
I think
forgot about
some
my pizza.
people. Holy crap! That's a big pizza. You scared me.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't realize your plate was clear at
Big
first,
bread
and that
button.
was kind of weird.
Well, no, she's a pizza.
Okay.
Queen.
There's program.
Don't worry, I'm a piece
I
of
can't
work.
find a loaf that's that size.
Piece of wood.
Work.
Enjoy the pizza.
Loaf. Okay, alright.
I'll watch you guys play
Have to.
golf. Sorry, I played golf today.
There's a freezer.
No!
I only cut them into 4.
Playing golf. Hold up. Let me
Join
step
us,
up.
Michigan.
Oh, so it's the kind you cut up.
One
Ah.
of us.
I can't. I
One
got my arms
game.
removed.
Yeah.
One game.
Program
Okay.
pizza.
He's just mad he didn't win earlier.
I'm
Oh,
just
I
gonna
thought I was
finish
looking
I'm
at
this.
just
a
mad
He didn't
because
get 69
Macramation.
earlier?
jelly.
I did not get 69.
Never mind. That
Well,
Oh,
see, you gotta
no.
try
makes a lot
again.
more sense.
There you go.
69, try it again.
Pizza.
Give me
uh,
a second. I have to download
I'm gonna have
golf
to
again.
step away for a moment, but I'll be
okay,
right
no problem. We'll
back.
probably take a stretch break anyway.
Yeah, I need to go to the bathroom and all that.
Me too. Can you go for me?
I am going to call an early night.
I can't actually.
I wish
Alright,
it worked
man.
like that.
I don't like that would suck though because it means your bladder would be massive because I have so yeah all the other bladders.
No, I'm gonna get mountain.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed early, folks. A bit
Alright, man.
later.
Alrighty.
How'd
Come
you?
in.
Have a good match, pitching.
Well, yes, I mean.
See y'all some other time.
Yeah,
Let's see.
your time.
Oh, Henry, it's cute. It looks like a nose.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shop vac. That's what we call it.
It's the giant cocaine sniffing vacuum cleaner.
Our shop vacs don't have faces.
I'm so close to finishing this thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Password's the same, lowercase.
That's downloading.
What the dog doing though?
Okay.
What that dog do?
And then stretch break time.
Wait, why is it invalid? Oh, right.
They're
I
not-
know
It's
why.
legal.
I know why.
Chris.
Using the wrong password.
Well, it's the right password, just not the right casing.
So there's a round Pokeball and an oblong Pokeball.
Are they
It
crocheted?
happens.
Round?
I think so.
No, you just
No, I think they're needed. They're
Oh,
the knitted ones.
neated?
machine knitted. There we go. Now they're round again.
They're neated.
Jesus fuck, Monty, you scared the shit out of me.
Oh,
Great balls. Yeah.
yeah.
Goodness gracious, great balls fire.
I glanced back and all I saw was Monty stretching. It scared the shit out of me.
It's a dog.
Be right, be.
Literally can't hear anything under these.
They get to listen to you.
Only
Wait,
thing
I
you
was
hear is
gone.
bass.
How are the rest of you not in the channel?
No,
Or
I'm
the
in.
lobby?
I'm in right now.
You are now, sure.
I was peeing and doing stuff.
Yeah, but you were back before I was.
What's up?
Oh, well.
Oh,
It's
He's got the
where
working
Mr.
hat
used
on.
to be.
Is everybody playing golf here?
Back.
There should be more.
No.
I am. I got 45 seconds left.
She downloading for the very first
Dude, you're supposed
time.
to look- let's get- it's a-
What did you do with the thing?
I don't know, Mono. What did you do with the thing?
Yeah, what did you do with it? Gosh.
Thing.
Dude, she
And-
took
My
off.
KimonoKat.
Like, something's going on.
I don't know.
I didn't
Does
want my ice cream cone to melt. Just laid it down out there.
Ooh, jeez.
I would come back to a puddle and a package. And I was like, that's what I
Yo,
was
I
like,
saw
that
the
was really
most
sad.
unhinged thing ever. Somebody on Reddit was trying to petition to remove, in quotes, I'm putting it, the awful chocolate at the bottom of the cone. I'm like, yo, that's the best part. Why would you?
Yeah.
They need
I
it there as
mean-
well.
Right,
Because or else
otherwise
it
it'll
will
melt.
It
leak.
keeps it from
Yeah.
Oh, it
dripping,
will
yeah.
leak.
How do
Right.
these people not know? Uncultured.
I mean,
Those
if
are
they
too
don't
busy
like it, don't eat the bottom of the cone. It's just like people that don't eat the crust of their bread. Just don't eat the
Well, no, but
bottom.
the thing was,
I
I
love
assume,
the crust
assume
of the
they
bread.
liked the waffle cone. They just didn't like the chocolate chunk.
Right. I
Oh,
But
understand.
still,
Don't
there's
eat
a
it.
reason it's there.
Yeah, don't eat it. You don't like it,
There's
don't
a
eat
Dutch
it.
saying. That's. I'm gonna say it in Dutch first. It's van korstjes krijg je borstjes, which basically means if you eat the crust, you get boobies.
Encourages.
Ah,
If you eat the crust,
I
you
love
get
crust.
boobies.
It's
I
to
love
yeah,
crust.
it's to make like
I
at
mean,
least
that's the
female
truth.
women. Or female women, wow. Female kids
Female women.
Female
eat the
women.
crust, so they think they get boobs.
Okay, so in America they tell us to eat pickles because it puts hair on your chest.
I didn't eat. I didn't eat any
I've said
pickles.
that. I've said
I
that
have
about
a lot
multiple
of-
things.
lot
Drink
of-
this whiskey. It puts hair on your chest.
Well, yeah, whiskey
Mhm.
puts hair on your chest. for
Usually I
sure.
hear it with whiskey, yeah.
Even if you didn't want it in the first place.
No, I love having that hair. So,
I don't
Yeah.
get why
Yeah,
anyone
let's not
would
even
enjoy
go down
there.
having the hair.
we're gonna.
I'm
Dude,
blonde.
I'm
it's
e-
not so thick. It's alright.
I'm
Unless it's a
Eastern
cold country.
European.
Yeah, there you go.
I
I
am.
fucking
European.
I wear a sweater underneath my sweater.
He doesn't have very much either.
Well, I'm not that.
I am the sweater.
I would be your worst nightmare. Like I once went to the beach with a friend. He was like, "Can you put some sunscreen on me?" And I basically just went,
Oh, I got it.
started pulling everything out.
I'll start fighting.
Oh, no, yeah,
Milk
if-
me.
Myrtle.
Not to
Well,
make
I'll
it sound
do it.
weird, but if I didn't maintain myself, I would definitely look like I'm
Well, I
wearing
need
a
to
fucking
But I
sweater.
go.
But
Well,
it
because
doesn't.
you're a guy.
Turtle behave.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm a ginger,
hear
so
you,
it's
chat.
even worse.
Trust me, I
Not a
know. I
guy.
have.
Be
Big
lighter
bright-
color at least.
Probably more gray now.
I'm so blonde, it just doesn't even exist.
I'm turning
Black.
so.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll spec them
Yeah.
out.
I'm
Thank you,
turning
Momo.
white, basically.
Hmm?
I'm turning white. Almost everything's
I think
turning
I'm
white.
turning white. I really think so.
I miss my beard. I keep catching myself going.
You keep touching yourself, eh?
Well, it's like
Think of
3 weeks ago, I
you.
was like down to here.
Trust me, I always. Yeah, you always touch your beard because it makes you like seem smarter than you actually are.
Is that why?
That is exactly why I do it. That is exactly why.
I guess that's why my gay
Why?
friend kept touching me.
Wow. You're the
Momo, you
beard.
joining or no?
I was. No, I wasn't. I said so before. I'm sorry.
You
No,
was and
oh,
was.
I'm
Yeah,
doing.
so-
I'm doing the thing. I'm finishing the thing.
If Fuzzy
I'm-
wasn't
No,
wasn't
you're
there,
fine.
then
I was just
Fuzzy could have
double-checking
Fuzzy
before I
could
hit
have
start.
I don't know.
Thanks.
Since we're talking about hair, you know, for us.
No, no. I know you didn't just use your fucking teeth.
You don't got no teeth now. Let's get
Did you
It's a
just
cornetto.
did you just
criminalized.
did you just really? You shamed her
I
for
can't.
biting a cone of ice cream?
I cannot buy ice
Cone
cream.
of shame.
Oh, I look.
Oh,
I
you
feel like it's more
sensitive.
sus to lick an ice cream cone on stream than it is to bite it. Let's be real. I'm not gonna
True.
do
If I
True.
quote unquote bite it, I will usually like wrap my lip underneath my teeth before I do.
that. Turtles already being sus now.
I think we need.
Like an old lady without her teeth in.
How did I hit practice?
Oh my.
You gotta leave, practice.
There you go. Start.
I remember a friend that devoured a whole magnum before I could eat, or devoured 2 magnums before I could even like finish.
Okay, for
one.
people who don't know, that's a type of ice cream thing.
I didn't know
Yeah.
what that was.
Snappy,
it's
thank
ice
you
cream
so
brand.
much. Welcome to the
Yeah, it's also a condom brand.
Thank you for the
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
yeah, exactly. My brain went the wrong way out.
Isn't it like Trojan or something?
Trojan.
Yeah.
Wait, why am I?
Trojan.
Okay.
I don't know.
What's
Especially when my brain
it?
went there, and I don't want power.
I buy them because they make me feel manly.
Uh,
They just don't stay on.
When you flick them.
They just
They just don't stay
Oh
on.
my gosh, 45 months. Rain started a hype train. Look at Rain go.
I buy them, but they don't stay on.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Oh wow.
Oh, I hit the pole and a ball. What is
Dude,
going
you're always
on?
hitting
I don't
the pole
know.
on
I think we
phonics.
all bounce back and forth between the pole and the wall.
Yeah, notice we all got par.
Mm-hmm.
We were all hanging out.
Except for Wiggles and Michigan, they're pros.
Yeah, because they got there first. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are hairy.
Fuck.
Oh no, 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 no!
Hey,
That
look
was
at that.
supposed to be a hole in one, and I.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Wiggles only can get home once here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the hype. Thank you guys.
That barrel is
I'm
so
gonna talk
loud.
about that. I'm
Why
gonna-
does
I'm
the
gonna
barrel
Twitter
have
that.
to be so loud?
Tweet it. Twitter.
I don't know, I can't hear it.
Hmm?
Oh, this one. I'm not very good at this one.
Well, find a hole in
You're
it.
gonna Twitter tweet what? Whoa!
Well,
Of course.
Okay, never mind. I go and say that, and then.
oh
Like-
no.
fighting everybody.
Mm.
Wait, is my superpower denigration?
You are powerful.
Using big words and shit.
Oh,
Big word.
$5,000 words. Get out of here.
All your big words. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I like big words, and I cannot lie.
These other librarians
You other
cannot
brothers
lie.
can't. Thesaurus. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I give up at rapping, like, cause Eminem told me that I was too good, so I just
Hey,
said
hey.
okay.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
They call me Big Word instead of,
Yeah, I'm just
instead of
big
Big
word.
Worm. Instead of Big
Wait,
Worm.
big worm.
No, they
I'm
call
not
me
sure that
Little
means what you
Word.
think it means.
From
They
Friday,
call me Little Word.
Big Worm.
Little dictionary. Oh, I fell off. Whoops.
Whoa.
Get on.
I gave it too many yeets. Oh, and then I hit somebody on the way in. Wow.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you
I
got
helped ya.
in though.
You got it. He helped you out get.
Sit down, though.
He helped
It's alright. I'm still in the lead.
you. No, you're not. You're tied.
I'm
It's a-
tied
It's
for
a,
the lead.
three.
Get off.
It's a
get off
three-way.
it. Get off it.
It's a three-way.
Oh no. Yes.
It is a three-way though, right now.
Wait, why am I back at the
Whoa.
beginning? I was next to the hole.
Well, get better.
What?
Get good.
Bro, I should have been in like 2, not 3.
It seems
That's
like you're
messed up.
complaining. as
I
well
got a
as
hole in
am.
one because someone hit me in.
Oh my.
Axe.
So I went beyond the golf course and then I jumped backwards into it, and then it sent me back to
Oh,
the
no.
beginning, and
No,
I was
I've
not
had that
happy
happen
with that.
before. I've had that happen.
I was not happy with that.
Wiggles
Yeah,
is,
just
is
jump
on
over
top
the
of me.
hole.
I don't know what's what.
There and back again.
Mhm.
Until by you.
The tail line, Mr. Splints, the 15th million hobbit. I don't know,
What?
whatever.
They just making something.
Mm-hmm.
You're weird.
Oh God.
I'm cleared?
You're weird.
Oh no.
There we go.
I hope I don't fall.
I got
I went
so many
into the
whole
next
ones.
course.
I don't know where I'm going.
You got a hole in one.
I know.
I
I
should
got
have had a hole in one, but I went to the next course.
2 or 3 hole-in-ones in a row.
I'm falling now.
My precision right now is like. No, it's only 2, but still.
Let's talk
Okay.
about it. Let's taco about it.
Baby.
You and me.
Let's
Talk about all the good things.
My brain is just on today. I'm so sorry.
I don't
No,
have
you're
a brain,
fine.
so,
How dare you?
Okay.
I am
How dare
offended.
you be a person?
Lady, you almost knocked me out of the hole, and I was already in the hole.
Well, she
That's what
didn't
you
have
said.
consent. She didn't give consent.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay. Whoa.
Evil words. Evil words.
See, that's why I said sorry.
That's some evil words.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
is
never said it was that one.
I never said that.
Birdie.
He's still 2 ahead of
Tweet,
me.
tweet. I do that, Momo, though. When I come across
Oh,
cute videos
no.
with birds and I want to send them to you, I hesitate. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be cute to her. This is gonna scare her. I'm not doing that.
I know.
All right, I gotta.
I mean,
I was like, this is the
I'm at the
cutest
point that
bird.
I can take like ducklings
Oh no.
and
Aw.
like baby chicks,
To be fair,
but
geese
the yellow kind.
are difficult.
But they're
Yellow.
still yellow.
They have to be
Up
yellow.
from that,
And
they
were
get scary
all
again.
yellow.
The yellow.
Yellow.
They were
Yeah.
all yellow.
Black and yellow.
All the yellow babies.
Black and yellow.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Oh, I thought I
Oh,
was still
I
playing.
remember
I
those
got
Here,
so
videos.
confused for half a
here-
second.
here's one I'll get one into your head. Menominee.
Phenomena.
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 Oh boy.
There you go.
You know
Oh,
those,
yeah, it's
those
over there.
videos where there's a mama duck walking across the street and she walks
Phenomena.
over a drainage pit.
They need
And-
grapes.
No, but then the baby
I-
ducks they just fall
Yeah.
through it.
Oh
So
yeah,
I don't
sad.
want to hear it. What?
that
come
video.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
people
dude, and
saved
she
them,
sits there
but
and
she's just
watches
there
all
like,
of
I don't
them.
know what to do.
She doesn't even freak out. She's just sitting there like, yep, there's the last generation.
Honk.
Dead.
Or like the mama duck that jumps off the roof and the babies can't fly yet, so they jump off with them and they splat.
I don't want to hear
Yeah,
That's
but
stuff
they're
like
so
this.
light they don't get hurt.
No, these were too high up. It was like 2 stories. And so people started trying to catch the babies as they jumped because they weren't making it.
That's just a bad mom.
Yeah.
But hey,
Mom
guys.
is making
Because
more of a
apparently
jump,
the ducks
jump.
will
Oh,
nest on the
who
roof
the-
every
But
day.
okay, so our shop, our
Are you kidding
building
me right
is
now?
a flat top building.
Mhm.
And a few years ago, we had geese that nested on the roof, and it's an industrial building, so it's
Yo, I should have been
It's really
one step
tall.
closer to the
and it had
edge.
babies up there, and we actually had to have. We waited
Make
for them
it
to
jump.
hatch, and we had somebody actually had to grab them and bring them all down because that's exactly what was going to happen. It's concrete all around.
Yeah.
So if they would have, oh, I just had a
We all meet
network
up in this
error.
corner every
Oh
time.
no.
Ramona bumped me.
No.
Oh, you got bumped. I was seeing
No.
that your video was stuttering a little bit.
Yeah.
It was.
It went boom, boom.
Albatross. What's up with that?
Oh,
I'm not
fuck
fucking
you,
media
little
com.
mouse, 'cause I'm an albatross.
Yeah,
Nice jump in there, Michigan.
you slightly
All of us.
roboted at the same
We all
time,
went
so
the
I was like,
same
what's going
way.
on?
Damn it, I was doing
Oh,
well
fuck.
as well.
You were winning.
I don't need a kiss.
Oh, that did
Michigan
not help me.
cheated. He kicked you out. Oh, blame
That did
Michigan.
not help me at all.
My cat
Always
punched me.
cheats.
Yeah.
Neither did that.
Typical.
Shies, this course I'm not doing well on.
I hate the word cheat.
I mean, yeah.
not-
Michigan
not
used
good
hacks.
there.
There you go.
Are you kidding? I
Kidding,
didn't.
Michigan.
Ray!
Yeah,
You
Sorry.
robbed me of my
I didn't.
my spot there.
Well, I'm not
Oh,
good
and
at
then
golf.
I go
I'm
over
only
the
good at-
gap.
Just gotta
Okay.
touch your ball.
Yep, that's good. I see how it is. Everybody. What?
Pass it on. It's almost done.
Oh, Zedong. He can stay in charge. Dude, I went from second to third. It's not so cool.
You're not cool anymore,
It's
bro.
not so cool.
Well, because you lost me too, though. So
No,
because I was in third, you would have been in third. I'd be in fourth.
we all messed up. Look at that.
Oh,
Ah,
you're still in third now.
Puddles, you messed me up.
Oh no, I jumped too early and now it's never possible.
I always got hold.
It's never. Don't say never. You made it.
That's a
That was-
bogey.
And I don't know how Michigan made that one, but he made it.
No, that was my worst hole, actually.
I think we all did terrible at that one.
We
More
did
than normal,
terrible.
anyway. Terrible, yeah.
We did all the terribles.
We did
That's
terrible.
That's terrible.
Tubbies.
Ah,
Oh my god.
Punch it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna knock me onto the treadmill for a second. I was like, no.
No. We can share the same hole.
Wow.
That's kinda-
Wow.
Nice shot.
That's so nice.
No, it's a
y'all
big
sharing
hole.
the same hole now.
It's a big hole. Big enough.
Gotta fill it.
Bro.
Oh,
I
geez.
am not sure how
I didn't do shit.
Me neither.
How did I get out of the course? I barely even
Touched
touched
it.
it.
Jesus.
He's
This
finishing
is why
my
I hate
words.
this game because
Nice
it's the
jump,
worst.
Mona. That was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Why is he finishing my words?
I just wish I would have lined up the second one a little better, but I get
Oh,
anxious
God.
and in a
Oh,
hurry,
God.
so I don't.
Oh god. Yep, now I'm over
But
here.
now you can see how we talk about we go to the right. We don't go through the. But because it's just.
I do.
It's. I can't. It's like feels impossible to me.
Oh, I was gonna put you in.
I go to the right and I jump the
You
logs.
don't have to put it in for me, man.
I was just gonna guide you in.
Nobody gets.
Jesus.
I would smile. How dare you?
Poor Momo, her mind's just like so far south right now.
Mhm.
Every word she's saying is just resonating with her over there.
I'm pretty
Now I
sure
want to go
she's
back.
Girl, you're blushing. You're blushing.
I want to go
You're
back and watch that
definitely
part on
blushing.
replay. I want to replay that and just watch, hear Michigan and Split's combo, listen to Momo giggle in the background.
I was just trying to put you in there.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Don't need help. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna play some different maps. I'm gonna play some of the ones I hate just to play them.
Should be able to
Oh.
do this again.
Fresh.
I have to
Yes,
disappear
you
for a little
can.
bit. I'll be back.
Okay, okay.
Where are
You're
we going
disappearing.
today? I don't like this new interface. It's weird. Well, yeah, obviously I want it now, but oh, there we go.
I want
What
it
is
now.
done?
Uh-uh.
Bam, bam.
Oh, it's funny.
I want it all. I want it.
Let's see.
now.
Now we get to listen to Split sing. Come on, Split, you can sing louder for us.
What?
Yeah, we're listening to you.
No, no.
All on you.
Girl.
Last time I sang, I realized that it was a really inappropriate song.
Which one?
I'm a Barbie
Baby
girl.
Shark?
I
in a
know.
Barbie world.
I knew you were gonna say that. We did karaoke night as one stream night award
I had
thing.
no
Oh
idea
my
how
God.
And he
troublesome
picked
those
Barbie
lyrics were.
Girl.
You didn't know?
She's
I've never sung it before.
And so he picked it and he started singing it live and he was like, I
Oh, this is
apologize.
problematic.
It's a very, yeah.
It was funny though.
And now it's forever on YouTube. So that's
Yes, it is.
Fun.
Fun, fun, fun.
Wait,
What
how
is
did I
this?
get? Oh, I was still in the lobby. Oh no.
You're not in?
Oh no, no, I am in. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
you're gonna play.
The problem is that I'm in.
it's not a problem. That's a solution.
Oh, I forgot this one was like that many
No, I'm
hop,
on
skip, jumps.
solution in look of a problem.
I'm like so paranoid I'm gonna do bad. Have plenty of water for this.
Hmm? One of us? What?
One
One of us.
One of us.
we all started
Yeah.
doing it. One.
It's required.
Don't blow up.
What? It
Don't
had
blow
already
up.
blown up. Why did it blow up yet again?
Vicinity.
And beyond.
Yep, get too close to it.
Oh, really? This is a spot?
What
the
the
fuck?
Those
Those
green
spots.
things
Dude,
are
it looks like you're
explicit.
You
like
are.
hating.
Those
Oh
spots.
wow, Wiggles. How did you get there?
Wiggles,
I-
what?
Yeah.
What? Where are you?
He's
I would
like off the
also,
course.
He's
I
not
would
even
also-
in the course.
yeah, I would also like to know.
Keep bouncing, cause yep, no.
Just
now you
shoot
gotta
across
jump.
the
Okay,
path.
oh,
There
yeah,
you go.
there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, not quite that far. Oh yeah. Oh good. You
Now
didn't
jump
go
over
flying.
the sandbaggers.
Yeah, just go straight to the bowl and
Just go straight to the hole.
yeah.
I don't know how the fuck I ended up on a plank out in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know. That was impressive.
Okay, this one you
Oh,
fly,
God,
by
not
the
this
way.
one.
Left mouse button.
Yeah.
Jesus, I bounced so much.
I ran out.
Ah!
I'm already in the hole.
Holy what? Did somebody see that?
Wasn't paying attention.
Nope, sorry.
I
Oh
was
my
too busy
god!
signing
My
up.
first shot I lost, and the second one I put it right in the hole.
Yeah, the second one I got in. The first one I just flew right and went. I don't know. I was so
Wiggles, where
close.
were
I was
you
doing
going?
good.
Where are you going, Wiggles? No, it's way
What?
in front of you.
He
Not
doesn't want
Go
worms.
straight through the suitcase and
like
hold your
power
mouse
and
down.
fly just
Hold
a
your
little
mouse
bit.
down.
Oh.
Hold your mouse
Oh
down.
no, that is not the
yeah,
hole.
yeah, if you
Oh,
hold down
like-
the button,
Go
you'll
full
get the-
power. Hold
You're
down
going
just
the
a
wrong
little
way.
bit. It's straight ahead of you.
Yeah.
You need to
Hold down.
understand-
You only
There
have
you
so
go.
much
Okay, whoa,
flight
whoa, whoa.
calculation.
There you go.
So sometimes you have
Now
to
it's
like
behind
let
you.
go of the hold just a little bit.
Oh,
but
shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't
Yeah,
have
you're
to
already
use
here.
all
You're
that.
already here. You don't have to
Every
use all
different,
of it.
This
different
course.
course number.
Worms.
This one's a little bit. It takes a little bit to
Yeah,
get the
I've
hang of
never
flying.
played it.
Well, he's,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
not
gonna be terrible.
100% American. He doesn't know how to flight to the mark in this
I'm
case.
sorry.
Oh.
How does this have anything to do with
Michigan,
being
you are cruising for one today. I'll tell you
You're
what.
cruising for
No.
a prison there, bro.
Because
Hi.
flying.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I almost had a hole in one.
Yeah.
Do a hole
I'll give you a hole in one.
Oh, where?
Yeah, but the
in
Wait a
one.
good
I
minute,
birdie.
got a hole in one. That was not expecting a hole in one, but it's.
Nobody expects the.
And don't forget C and spacebar might help you out a little
Whoa.
bit on this one.
Wait.
I missed you.
Oh, you
You
mean
hit my
look
ball
around?
and come
I thought you meant
I
like.
said I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Get away.
Ah,
Why am I getting hit?
Oh, I went way too far. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm on to the right idea. Oh, yes. That's good. That's good.
We bounced off something, went right in the hole.
Yeah, still birdie.
Where's
Oh,
there?
those horns
Oh
hurt.
no.
Okay. I'm not
Oh,
judging
thanks.
anybody here, but you. Wow, Wiggles, you got boosted.
Yeah.
Something happened there.
You
Good
got
job.
I don't know how that
boosted.
works.
You still
Thanks.
have his
Welcome,
jetpack
Lady,
on.
lady, you gave him a leg up, as we say in the industry.
Don't go down.
No.
God.
Yeah, jetpack on still.
Now you have to go the long way. That sucks.
I love your sparkles though.
I didn't like it when I got hit by him like 20 times.
I love that her ball's a bubble.
It's a
It's
ghost.
actually an invisibility spell.
Looks like
I
a
To be
still
bubble.
fair, your ball is kind of like weirdly shaped. That might be why it's not rolling straight.
Yeah, it's a little
I
odd.
don't think that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, it does. 'Cause a round ball,
Fuck
Round
it.
balls make the world go round.
yeah, it's not a flat ball.
It's not.
Wait, what? Where's the flag? Oh my gosh, it's way over there.
Oh wait, damn it!
You go, Rain.
Did I just use my brain?
Oh, nope, I misused that. That was
I
interesting.
just used
What
my
is it,
brain.
control?
Wow, my
Oh, no.
brain's.
There. Try to do it.
Yay.
I almost got.
I feel like I have a fish in my head, not cat ears.
Yeah.
You're a fisher.
A fish?
I'm a fish.
A fish.
That's my
Well, she's
name.
the opposite mermaid, where the.
Fuck.
The fish head and a woman body. Right. What the heck did I do already? What? What?
Get worms.
Ah,
No, I didn't hit high enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ah, it didn't work out. I ended up. I'm on the course. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm still gonna go that way. There we go. Hi, Splints.
Hello. This one I'm not so sure about. Oh yeah. That was
He just
I
bounced
actually
off the
almost
wall.
got it in it too.
Oh.
I don't know how.
oh god.
Wiggles is taking the scenic route and blowing up.
No!
Which way is to
is
go?
going
He saw some dinosaurs
You can
over there.
you can cheat and go through the rock hole there on the right.
That's what I'm trying
There's
to
like
do.
the
Yeah.
little thing,
Dude, I went straight
or you can
up.
go the long way.
I went straight up and almost landed
It's
in the hole.
not as easy as it looks, but yeah, you did it. That's the cheat way. That's the best way to go.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Oh,
That
I
is the
can
best way to go.
right
You
over
did good.
here, going straight up.
Wiggles.
So close.
If you get in before me, I'm gonna be sad.
Splits.
How dare you?
What were you doing over there? By the way, Rain made this, you guys. Rain made this. She made this hat. It's supposed to be cat ears, but there.
I'm
And I
alright.
fixed it. Now I don't look like a fish.
You're catty.
Yeah, it's like it's
You're-
got to be pulled down like pretty close to your head for it to really do the thing.
You gotta scrunch it a lot.
Oh
Scrunchy,
my
scrunchy.
god.
Man, I'm seeing the.
Otherwise, if I pull it down, this could be like this.
Oh my god, did I really manage to? No!
You're gonna rob a bank? Damn.
Why
No.
did it put me back on the course somewhere else, like that I didn't even know? That was weird. I didn't get messed up.
You sure it was?
That's not fair. I was
You wanna
doing
talk about
okay.
Ready.
Hi, Wiggles.
What?
I got in through you, by the way.
Whoa!
I would have had it
Huh?
in too, but it teleported
I
me
don't know
somewhere
how I did
else,
that.
even though I was right next to the hole.
Well, I
Why
can't.
is this guy
Don't
not
do what
trying to
I'm
pick me up?
doing.
I don't understand what's going on.
Whatever you guys do, don't do it.
He's just sitting at an intersection like there must be an accident. I can't imagine.
Leave your food.
No, not my food. My transport.
Right.
Oh, you're gonna go out and get more
Duh.
water.
I'm getting more. Yeah, Jesus juice.
Water.
Well, wine. Make water into wine.
Oh, catch if you're catching Pokemons. What?
Gotta catch them all. Is that the flag over there? Or is it
The flag
Yes.
is over there. Oh, I tried to jump too much.
Eh.
No.
Oh, that
No,
actually
no,
helps me a
no,
little
no,
bit.
no.
Meow, 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 meow.
That's called lightning.
Like that one.
Oh, I thought there was our ramp. Dang it.
Oh!
They're on their way. I might not be able to finish this round.
I know you never finished.
It's okay.
Joe.
I'm not sure anybody will finish this round. It's really hard.
Dude, I'm talking about
Rude.
books. I'm talking about books.
Oh, damn it. How the fuck am
Why
I
would
over
you
here?
give away my deepest, darkest secret?
Oh, that's what I do. I'm just gonna give everybody's dark secret right now. Just kidding.
Oh, fuck, I finished it, finally.
Ah! There you go.
Wiggles took the most dangerous
Oh.
route.
Oh!
Dude, he goes for it, man. Just goes.
There we go.
You got it.
Yay!
Yeah.
All the jumping
He's
paid
a
off.
cool guy, because all the explosions, like, you know, he's a cool guy going through.
Don't touch me.
Oh, I hate this one.
I will.
I hate this one, the passion.
Ah! I couldn't jump. I gotta leave. Sorry, I'll be back.
Bye.
I'll be back.
Oh, I messed up.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't bring my headphones. That'd be weird.
I'll be gone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sitting like the Uber, and just have your headset on.
Only hand grenades sent me away.
Yeah, me too.
Oh shoot! What did I hit? Nothing.
Getting looped into the holy hand grenade forever. There we go.
I don't know.
No!
I love
No!
that
I
we're
was-
so like influenced by Monty Python that it's not what it actually is. It is the holy hand grenade.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, by Worms, the holy grenade is massive.
Just makes me think of Vivian Westwood.
Ah! Yeet! Oh, I need a drink. For the love of God!
Hi, Wiggles.
Alright, I'm going. Hanging out? I'll hang out.
Apparently
Oh.
I can't like jump
Goodbye.
that high.
Fine, I ended up where I wanted to be. Anyway.
Really?
That's
There we
not
go.
I
where I
like
be.
that hole, anyways.
Hi, Wiggles.
You doing? You wanna hang out? I'll hang out.
Uh-huh.
Oh, get me there! Get me there!
Ah,
Thank goodness,
It did
finally
not.
over here.
Holy thing.
Oh, what the hell? Okay, look at where my ball is.
I know where your balls are.
Oh. This is horse shit.
Ah,
Look at where it put me.
let's see, where is Wiggles? There he is. Oh gosh. Whoa, you were on top of the wall. That's cool.
Yeah.
20 seconds and you made it.
Barely.
Only 10
Ah.
Oh, here it goes. Oh,
Those sparkly fireworks. And she goes flying up.
Bye.
You were so close too. You have 4 seconds. You can do it.
It's all up to you, okay?
Oh, it's gonna like die. You're gonna. Oh no. Back
Literally
to
be
the
my
bottom.
level.
Worst poll ever. I'm
Look,
gonna
I finished the
call my
thing.
senator.
very nice.
Yay!
It's very nice. I
Right,
like
the other
it.
side.
Nice.
What is that in the middle?
It's
Is that
pretty.
are those die?
It's like a
What are those,
keychain.
dice?
Letter beads.
Oh,
It looks
nice.
like dice though from here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still light, I think.
Oh.
Oh, that's pretty
where
cool.
am I at? Okay. We gotta go that way
Oh, yeah. There you go.
and go way down there.
What's
So,
really
yeah.
annoying is when you turn it around, the letters are all upside down.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I won't try something dumb because I don't remember. No, something dumb did not work. I did.
and with
Tried
that,
it, though.
I need to go to bed because in 4 hours my neighbor's gonna start with the.
Oh yeah, with the noise that keeps you awake. I love it.
Nice seeing you.
Well, take
Hi,
care.
Momo.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
morning.
it was fun. I've never done this course. I really want to do this one time.
You should. We'll do it again then. It's one of the more difficult ones. So I don't do it very often. I hate the
I
sheep
like
at the
it when
end.
it's more challenging, honestly, because then it's just more fun.
Oh,
Then everybody sucks.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's-
this is
yeah,
true.
There's no competition. Yeah.
It's just, you know.
It gets worse. There's those dang flying sheep. Oh, what am I on crawl mode now?
No, you turned it on.
What kind of mode?
It was just like crawling down the path. It was still moving, so I couldn't do anything. I had to wait for it to stop.
Enjoy the games, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Good night.
Good night.
You're special.
Ah! Oh, hi, Wales.
Hello there.
Let's see, where are we at?
Jesus, Wiggles.
Not even sorry.
Oh, crap.
You didn't
Girls are
hurt me, but
toxic.
Damn.
Okay, so we're just gonna go slow. And then figure our lives out. So we gotta go that way,
Kimono, you look like a wizard skateboarder.
okay.
Skater boy.
No, I jumped over
Oh,
it
you
like
jumped
a dum-dum.
over it.
Can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
I like jumping in,
Yeah,
and,
right.
and I get too excited and then I mess it up. I like doing the swish. Oh, watch out for the sheep. They're explosive, by the way. And the trick is to go to the right over this rock and wait for that sheep to go by. So.
I just followed your thing, but without knowing. You said sheep, and I went through the sheep.
Yeah, you gotta watch that sheep. And then you gotta go up the pipe.
One of my cat. Okay.
And then, you know, inch over this way and watch out for this killer sheep again.
My ball don't work.
It's gonna take the long way.
I try to follow Kimono's saying.
Y'all still trying to go over the rock? Yeah. It can be difficult.
That sheep actually kind of helped me a little bit. Alright, the first sheep did help me a little bit, but the second
I was
the
waiting
second
now,
one's
now.
trying to make you jump off the edge over there.
Okay.
She did this on purpose.
It also kind of helped me. Oh no! I didn't hit it hard enough. Fuck, I hit it too hard. You having fun with your roach over there?
Don't judge me.
I'm not. It might be a little bit, but it's okay.
Let's see.
I can't.
Oddly enough, I'm okay with it.
I judge out of love.
Let's see. Michigan! You're almost there.
Trust me, I did the rock.
Oh, that sheep did you wrong.
Sheeps don't like me.
The sheep did you wrong.
Well, because they're mad at you for what you did to their brother.
What?
I mean, sorry.
Yeah. You ate
I
them,
love you,
right?
Michigan. I'm sorry.
You ate them.
I couldn't pass that one up.
No, they
Okay,
just
so
hate me
this
because...
one's way over there.
Jokes.
Oh.
Oh shit! This is jetpack.
Oh god. I hate this one.
What?
Is this one best straight or right? I don't remember. I think it's best to go right or left, isn't it?
Yeah, I went left.
No, I
But
keep
have
going
to
through that whole whatever the circle, and it doesn't fucking give me power.
That's because you
I
have
want to
to
go
hit the
straight.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about.
But it's too hard to go straight.
Bye.
Aye, aye, aye. Don't do what I'm doing, guys. Don't do what I'm doing.
Trust me, I'm not doing anything.
Didn't plan on it.
I just want to live in this town over here.
Ah,
Fire.
fuck. And get up high enough.
Ugh.
Fucking hi, Craig.
Yeah, I bet.
Bye.
Hi. How are you?
Oh,
Yeah.
let's see.
Hi, how are you?
No!
I'm actually getting
Dang it.
actively worse.
Oh man.
The sheep don't leave me alone. They know what I did to their father.
Ah!
Stop,
This is getting
stop.
outrageous.
Oh god.
How am I supposed to do that?
Honestly, I
Alright.
give up. I'm going for the moon.
I'm the only one who finished. I'm so close, Mono.
I know, I keep in the corner of the wall.
Oh, I had
And
a
now I'm
chance.
gonna get denied by like 1 second. It's
Oh,
like,
you're so...
Sometimes we're a little bit
No.
slow.
I was so close.
I'm actually
I
getting
was out
way
of turns anyway too, so I was out of time and turns. It looked like.
What the fuck?
This one you gotta go up the pipe.
So, okay, everybody get their pipe out. Oh, shit.
Hi, Michigan.
Yo,
What?
I don't know where I am.
Help me, I don't know where I am.
I gotta got more packs.
I'm lost in Walmart again.
Don't do what I just did.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Kind of just letting everybody go. Don't get it.
So you can study.
Still gotta take too many turns to get over there though. I don't like that. Aw.
I found the hole. I'm good.
Yeah, because I'm stuck down here.
Trust me, it still took me 7. I was like,
Hey, bogey. Nice.
Hi.
Hello there.
you do.
Doobie.
Doobie.
Chong. Go in the hole.
I do find it interesting though that like one of my friends has already heard music from Sky's band.
That is
We're not in
cool.
the same like we're not in the same friend groups at all.
And you're like, how?
Right. I guess he goes through and like shuffles all the like lesser known artists, and so that's how it ended up on Spotify. I'm like, damn.
Oh, donkey. Oh shit.
No.
Oh shit.
We collisioned into each other. Mess this up a little bit. This jump.
That is.
Oh dude, where
There
am
we
I?
go.
Everywhere.
What the fuck is going on here?
There you go.
Where do I have to go?
You gotta go up a loop-de-loop wall thingy. There's like a curve in the wall.
Oh, I'm
and
pretty
you
sure I
gotta
just
shoot
all
up
the way
that
went
curve.
back. I just went all the way
I
back
went
to the
other
beginning.
side. Ah, fuck.
All right.
See, I didn't go up that way. If you go around the wall and up past the bunny,
There's 2 strokes. 2 paths.
yeah, and then so you go up that guy. The Wiggles is going the right way. I got you.
See, I don't even know where that way is.
Oh, never mind. Wiggles is gonna run out of strokes, so it doesn't matter.
Michigan, he's finding the hole. That's the wrong hole, Michigan.
Don't judge me. No, we're here. They're
But
still
you're
found it
there.
eventually. Jesus.
Yeah, you did. You were close. Close enough.
That was close.
It's crisis. It's never the wrong hole.
Never the wrong hole.
Crisis would enjoy it in that time.
So
I
in the
was
wrong
just a
hole the
little
first
bit
time.
off of an angle the whole time. I hate that. Usually I'm really good at this one.
Well, yeah, we got to go back.
Yeah. And I didn't shoot straight, so that didn't help. Perfect.
What?
Stay on, stay on, stay on. Don't you dare.
I might already be in there. I don't even know.
Don't worry about it.
Double bogey. Whew.
Dang. Look at me.
Yo.
I like the
Hashtag first
entertaining.
try for a par.
Very nice.
I like to
Bogey.
entertain people with more strokes. None of us are definitely not getting 69. We're way.
How you doing, Crisis? You know you want to play some golf. I forget where this one is. I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Oh, is it over there on the right? I wonder if there's a way to get over there.
Why would my I'm stuck
Nope.
on scoreboard.
Oh,
No?
whoops. What hit me?
Are you? I don't.
I think I hit by the thin air. You told me no, you can't go that way. Fine. I was just gonna cut across the course and try to go
Trying to
right.
cheat.
And it was like, no. Like,
Oh. That was close.
Don't stop.
Right over.
guys, you know you want to play some golf.
Might be perfect, but that capitalization isn't.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
I don't know how I did that. But I did it.
Oh, and that's right. This one has that secret dip in the middle that drives me nuts. Yeah, that one. That dip in the hole every time.
We call this the
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I've just given up. Okay, don't. Yeah.
Ah. 20 seconds. You could do it. These is just like an accomplishment just to complete each one. It's like, oh god, okay, this is the firing range. Let's see. And
No,
yeah.
stay.
Oh shit. Oh good.
I don't remember the tricks to this one.
I don't either.
Surely not anything I just did, though.
Ooh,
It'd be nice
I went
if
through all the
it would stop
explosions.
being cheap.
No.
I was only a couple away from Kimono, so he's always mad at me.
The And this one's always less power than what I think it needs to be, which drives me nuts too.
Car! No fucking way.
Par, yeah. You did good.
It's a 6.
Flint's a secret loop. A pro at this map, and he was not telling us.
Even though he's not here.
No Splints. Wiggles.
But
Oh
sure.
my god.
Yeah.
Birds. It's past my bedtime already.
It's Friday.
I know.
There goes that, which means the keys are not
Let's see.
Find one.
139. Wow.
Kimono cheese, I think.
It's not for the faint of heart for sure.
Ooh, I got
I
a
lost
purple
my
trail. Yay.
Let's see. What else have we not done in a while? Not doing space. Not doing space. Which one's the one with the dang pyramid that everybody hates? Oasis?
Ancient. Or maybe it
Ancient?
is Oasis.
I don't know. It's one of those two.
Yeah, it's Oasis.
Yeah, everybody hates that. So I'm gonna go to that. Let's do volcano for the heck of it. I don't remember volcano. It's been a while. Splints back yet? Splints.
Nope.
No,
Yeah, Splints. I know.
he's in the
Oh, gives me an opportunity. I'm gonna go make a cocktail. I will be right back.
Do it. Maybe I'll go get some wine. Do I want some wine, Michigan? Do I want wine?
That's the wrong person to answer. So.
I know.
You know, yes.
You ask the person that you want the answer of. Because
Okay.
fast range, you say no. And Michigan, he says yes. So that I know which one I'm going to
As
get.
a doctor, I say yes.
That was a trick question and you passed.
Thank you. I'll take all the
Alright.
credit.
Oh, let's see. Alright, beautiful. I'm back.
Welcome back.
And now wine. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Crisis. What you playing tonight, Crisis? A game. I know you. You're always gaming. Really? Nothing at the moment? Wow. I'm shocked.
I am back.
Welcome back. Cheers.
Here, here. Got the wine.
Yes, I did.
Is that the leftover from your birthday?
It is. The giant bottle. I'm still working on it. I'm terrible. It's gonna take me forever. I have been known to drink it in 2 streams, but I just then I just have to go buy it again.
Isn't that the secret?
Let's see. Look at messages.
We waiting on Spence?
Kinda.
We're not really, because I don't know how long he'll be. So probably we'll start another one.
I'm definitely not rushing or anything. Just
Oh, I know you're.
don't you do
we
it.
were just
Don't you
chilling
do
until
it,
you
Michigan.
got back, and now I don't have an excuse because you're back. So I need to get back.
We can do marbles too.
Honestly, I would rather marbles, but
You would rather marbles right now
yes.
than volcano? Okay, we can switch to marbles for a couple rounds. Let's see.
I have to do less work, and you have to do more.
Mm-hmm. I know you're all about less work.
Take the dog out.
I mean, you really don't have to do much work. You can pretty much just kind of set it on for like
On
follow the
first
leader.
place.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm all.
I just keep adding to my stream titles. Just to be a hodgepodge of words that don't make any sense.
Fine.
I like it. It's confusing. Makes people come and go, what the heck are we talking about?
Hey, but then you're hitting like different demographics, you know?
Yeah.
People that
All at
search
once.
marbles now are gonna find you. You know, people that search golf found you.
Let's go to the marbles.
It's all good strategy.
Mm-hmm. Poor Splitson left in golf land. He's gonna come back and go, what?
No, he'll see us
Okay.
all here. Yeah.
Diaz, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All the licky emotes. Love my zigzagger. Alright, we're starting up some marbles, guys. Here. Let's roll.
And then take the dog out.
Yep.
Turtle's gonna roll. Turtle's gonna play, right? Exclamation play. In just a second after the game loads. Ranked, it's already rigged. Yeah, it's already rigged. Why is it not loading? Hi. What did I hit? This is launching forever. Oh, catch. Let's see. Alright, we're gonna hit cancel and try again because I don't know what it's doing. Play. Unless it's like maintenance hour or something. On marbles.
Be weird on a Friday.
Yeah.
Weird on Friday.
It's like Raven load.
True. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make
There
a
it goes.
weird hype out of nowhere.
You can handle the white noise. You had to change it. No more white noise. Let's see. Alright, now we have all the marbles noises. We're good. Let's see. There we go. so we can maybe play something we haven't made it to yet. All right. Exclamation
all right.
point. Let's
Anyways, I got my
see.
wax out. Let's go.
Join.
Wax on, wax off.
Here. Oh, Michigan, you gotta try again.
What? I can't join now?
No, join. You're gonna join again.
Get kicked.
Get right. Should say.
Bye.
No, I just didn't use the right ball, apparently.
Are you sure? You're still not in. Try again.
No, I'm in. What? Fuck you.
Come on, Michigan. One more time. You got this.
No, I'm done.
No, you gotta join.
You guys play with yourselves. I'm going home.
Join us. I won't kick you this time. You just wanted to change your marble 3 times, that's all. No, really, that's what they put that for.
Welcome,
They let you
welcome.
they let you 1 kick bots with like obscene names or something. And 2, they let you, like, if somebody's like, oh, I didn't want that skin, you can kick them out real quick and they can change what skin they have. They can come back or whatever.
I'm still gonna call my mom.
What are you gonna call her?
Mom!
What are you gonna call her?
He got
Call
kicked
her
twice,
and
that's what
just
I said.
cry.
Welcome, Max
Hey.
Fest! You're just in time for
Oh my
marbles! Expedition
Got our
play!
marbles on the track.
Exclamation. Exclamation.
Yeah, expedition
Hold on,
play.
I gotta
Just
get in
in
there.
time.
But
No
there might
worries.
be a what's it called? A moderator of it that might kick you.
Who's gonna get kicked?
I think you made that up, Michigan. I don't know anything about that.
Well, let the record state.
There is no
I don't
record.
know. No, anything about that.
I also don't know anything. I did not witness anything at all. I also am not aware of
She's
what you're
paying
talking
you
about.
with
He
church.
kept leaving the game. He kept
No,
leaving
it's
the
not
game and
90.
coming back and leaving the game.
It was kicking me out of the awesome pack, friends.
I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, I think we're all
Shocking
here
when
by
the walls
range.
fell.
She's walking the doggo, so we'll go ahead and start.
Doggos.
Hey,
It's
our
60
chances are very good. We
60
got about
second.
a 25% chance.
Did I make it in? I said play.
Yeah, you
okay.
did.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see
Yep.
I see your marble.
I see you, der.
I see your
What's your
marble.
flavor? What you got there, buddy? What you drinking?
Pepper.
Pepper.
Dr. What?
Oh, PBR.
Oh, Pepper.
You can see by the red
Pepper.
line.
Absed.
Proud of you. Proud
A
of
little
you.
bit of it.
Me too.
Me too. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad.
And Pat's Blue Ribbon for being around since 1860, whatever.
I'm drinking
Alright.
beer that was made in
My old stomping
1903.
grounds right by the brewery.
Wisconsin?
Dude, yeah, the Pat's Theater is still around. That's
I believe it.
literally
Yeah.
I got my favorite rosé.
Dude.
very
Yeah.
nice. Very
As
nice.
far as some of America's oldest breweries go, they're one of the best. It's them
PB, yeah.
and Yingling.
Yeah.
I don't think that comes out with
Nope,
Wisconsin.
Steve is right off the bat gonna cause some trouble.
Cheesy.
Whoa! Did you just explode? Splash just exploded. What?
I might
There are
have.
explosives on this track?
I
No,
was
he's
excited.
just-
I was excited.
This marble was just gone.
I was like, there must be explosives on this track. I like how it's like carpet, like movie theater carpet.
Yeah, I feel like it's like bowling
It
alley
actually has
carpet.
texture too. It's not just the
Yeah.
pattern. It has texture.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have done other drugs.
See?
Just kidding.
Yeah, look. Like,
Everybody take a tab. Tell me what's up. It looks like that rubber.
oh, there's a hole there. Oh, that was random. Now the hole's not there.
Oh, it is now.
This track is sneaky. See, look, random
it
holes
looks like
appear.
that weird rubber carpet stuff.
Yeah, sure you see in a bowling alley.
Oh,
Mm,
yep, there
not
was an
necessarily.
explosive.
What I
There
mean
was-
There was my turn.
It's not AstroTurf, but it's like somewhere just adjacent to the AstroTurf.
Does it like normally show like who's in what place?
Yeah, it does. On the top right where my face is. Hold on, let me move it. I had to move it because of the
I'm
previous
in the
game.
best place. First place.
I like this one. Always the best place to be is the dumb center. Of
No,
the
yeah, it's
screen.
totally not. No, it's totally not necessary. You can totally move it there.
That's
No,
a
you're
best
fine.
place.
Nope, that's perfect.
Wriggles, can you
Let's
stop cheating?
see. I gotta do a thing too.
You're gonna
Wriggles cheating.
do it, thing.
Marbles, where you at?
Where did everybody go?
Oh,
I
We-
hashtag
we
one.
died.
Catch
In the
you,
park,
and
and the
I'm gonna pull
party
your pants
just
down.
ended. What's going on?
Well, just
We
one
blew
person
up.
left. Just one person.
I know. I'm just beating.
We blew up. There we go.
Wait, that's a
Wiggles.
complicated area. Yep. Watch out
Wriggles,
for
your shoes untied.
the mustache. It's a mustache.
Dude, I
Mustache
had a
you a
mustache
question.
age of 13. I should be able to go right through this.
I want to just put.
Excuse me, I
it
must
on
ask
that.
you a question.
Oh, could just put me right here, but then the
I
cat's
won
in the way.
somehow. What happened?
The cat's in the way. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it up here.
No,
I
the
wanna
cat's
put it
in
on
your
my
lap.
face.
Never,
The cat,
ever.
the cat is in your lap. It's fine.
But then
I'm
I cover
sorry,
up when y'all get to choose which ball. Then I'm covering that up. So
Let us choose our balls in private.
it
Did
doesn't
not
matter.
finish.
You need to watch
Never
where others.
finish, like I said.
I think they per
I'm the only
screen they
one that can
change on
finish.
their stream deck where their face is.
It did
because
not
moves.
finish. What?
I blew
Yeah.
up
Who's winning?
immediately. I didn't even get a chance to decide.
You just went boom.
See, now you can't see the countdown because it's just dumb.
Oh no!
I guess I have to use
So,
the
yeah,
same ball.
I think I'm gonna put myself down
I
here.
think
But to
you're
be honest,
perfectly
just put it
fine
back
down there.
where it
Maybe
was.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I think back down
Perfect.
here is probably best.
Kitty in the lamp.
I can move the cat. Thank goodness.
Oh, the kitty's fine.
Start
Almost like
timer.
At the cat.
There we go. Yeah.
Meow.
Jesse, welcome to the stream. Yeah,
When am I
44
starting-
seconds to join the race. Exclamation play, you guys. Get your marble on the track.
Look how
Exclamation
much
play.
more gravity I'm gonna have to work with here. I don't know that that's gonna help, but I have it.
See,
Way up there.
kitty. There he is.
It's in his face, but you somehow just can drop some gravity on you.
Dude, seriously, why am I so high above everybody else?
Joffrey, welcome
Because
to
of
the
gravity.
stream. Winners, thank you so much for giving Dusty a sub. Thank you for gifting
So many things happen.
4 subs to the channel. Thank you.
Play number, and I type in play nice.
Play nice.
Uh-oh.
When do you play
Why?
nice?
Why?
Never.
Mr. Splints,
Apparently-
I like
Apparently it works.
your
Oh, My
your
Daisy
picture.
profile picture? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
your
nice.
profile picture there.
Yeah, Daisy.
That's from Daisy back in 2014, probably.
He hasn't moved on yet.
Oh, that is old.
It's a fun game. I still play that. I like
I
Daisy
used-
a lot.
I used to try to make a custom overlay for each game I play, but now I just move the chat and the fate.
Jaffrey taking the lead.
I just
He cheats.
if I did that, I'd have so many overlays in my OBS.
Hey, it ain't racing if you ain't rubbing, Jaffrey. Come on, let's go.
Hell yeah, brother.
Illy.
Let's
Going
go.
around the rings of Saturn. Oh, I took him on the inside.
You like that?
There's Michigan.
I guess this is why it's 18 plus, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's gonna be 30 plus.
What
It's
you
our
trying
mission.
to say?
Mm.
So we can
Ooh,
talk
I went,
about
I
our.
went to
That
the
you,
squeezies.
He doesn't know.
that you all are a bunch of dirty, dirty little birdies, and I'm okay with it.
I'm
Definitely.
never dirty. Come on, I clean.
I'm
I
okay
shower
with
every
it.
day.
We just
Pretty
played
sure-
Power Wash Sim. I think we're pretty
Yeah.
clean right now.
I know, you
Pretty sure
clean me
that's
right
why
off
we're
the
all
bat.
friends.
Come on, you clean me right off the bat.
I'm not
You spray him
judging.
down.
Yeah, he did.
I'm definitely clean. Yeah, I feel clean.
I'm definitely clean.
It's all
I
good.
shower
I
every
got
day,
that new
trust me.
shirt smell. No,
Yeah. I'm gonna get the new hat smell.
Dude, Jaffron, we are far and away.
no bullshit though. It was a very, very nice surprise because in my head, I just for
In
some
my
reason
head,
because I sent you my address, I'm like, it's going to come into my house,
Uh-huh.
You just did the other one.
and I'm like, it's coming
Yeah.
to my house, it's coming to my house. So I'm like, and then to walk into work and have it sitting on my desk, I'm like, ah, that's right.
You're like, wait, what? Let's how are you leading the way again?
I don't know. Holy
Nice.
cow!
Just got like hacks on? Dirty.
What do
Dirty
you have in front
nerdies.
of you?
Yes,
Oh,
Joffrey.
Yeah,
I
but
said
chill.
play. I said play nice.
That doesn't mean anything.
You are more than
Apparently it
welcome to
does.
join our live
You
chat
are
if
the
you
moon.
wish, Joffrey.
Dirty nerdies. Jaffron and I are like sitting still. The course is just going under us.
Yeah, they're gonna lose because they don't realize that they have to go forward.
You too, wow, you know it. Myrtle, Lurkin.
Lurkin, Murkin.
Why aren't you rolling marbles with us, Turtle?
All you
Get
gotta
your
do
marble
is
out.
It's
play.
too much work, right? Can't you hate me? I do not.
Get your marble
I do
out.
not. You know that's not true.
I will actually wax your ball for you.
Damn, that's an offer.
Michigan volunteered to wax your ball for you, Turtle.
I got the
If you
perfect wax.
He's gonna wax your ball for you.
Ball.
With
Whoa,
with
come on.
with consent, of course.
How am I missing every
I
obstacle?
want to do one ball first of all, or a marble.
This is insane.
Oh, boy. Oh, he says he doesn't have any, Michigan.
You don't have any. Well, sorry.
Someone took it from me
okay.
and Clayton.
Yep. That's where I get slowed.
Oh god.
Still managed though.
Either or, I got wax. So if you need it,
Uh-oh. Blunts is
Oh
stuck.
no. Wait, y'all don't use WASD to steer?
that'd be funny if you're doing the whole time.
Woohoo!
Remember that race?
Splits.
Okay, back.
Congrats.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back.
That would be funny though if you're doing this the whole time.
Monty has
Yeah.
major poomies.
Uh-oh.
Did he poop?
Yes, which is why he has major poomies.
I knew.
Rain, give me your stellar jades. I need Firefly. A wild
Turtle.
pavilion.
You're the one who decided to give me the fucking shit back.
Hey, how do I change my
Or
little
give it to
chilling
me, I
thing
should
down here in the
say.
bottom right? How do I change
You
that?
hover over
Uh,
it and then you
it's your
change
own
it.
In voice
fault.
chat, in the chat bar on the left, you click on the little icon and then it'll do it. It
Doesn't
won't do
show.
it like on your picture.
Oh
It
no
doesn't
no no
over
no!
here.
Actually, in our channel, this channel, you can't.
Yeah,
It's
there's
still
a lot
locked
of-
in
yeah,
this
you don't
channel?
have
I thought I
the-
fixed
what?
it.
You don't have rights.
No, it's still locked.
What's locked?
Yeah, I
The
can't do
little-
They're
it.
icons.
little fun icons.
I thought I
Jeez,
fixed
Muffy.
it, but apparently I didn't hit enough
No, we went
permissions
through
yet.
this last week, and it's still.
I know.
You know what? It is
I tried.
unacceptable. That's it. I'm leaving. I can't live my
I'm outta
life like
here.
this.
Oh,
The dude does not abide.
let's see. Use voice activities. Mute, deafen. Oh, I'll give y'all the ability to deafen people. I bet that would work.
I mean,
Voice channel stats.
only abuse
I
it
think
sometimes.
that's the one you need. I think. I'm gonna hit
there
There it
save.
is.
There
Yep.
it is.
I swear I
You got
hit
it.
save the other day too. It just didn't take.
Who knows?
Now it doesn't.
It's working though.
Yay. Mikami! I call Out the pavilion.
I thought I was requesting a song. I said play J's
Yeah.
on my feet.
Yeah, Moto has me deafened, 0% volume, and blocked. I don't have you blocked. You were in here last week.
Oh, did I miss it? I didn't miss it, did I? No, I didn't. Hello there.
Welcome.
Hello.
Jeffron, welcome.
Oh
The
no,
nerd.
I got caught up in
I was going
the...
nerd.
Desi.
Hey nerds.
That was a
Beat
clone.
it,
It
nerd.
wasn't there. Yeah, and you fell asleep too. Let's be real.
Oh, I thought you meant me for a second there. I was like, yeah, I might do that. It happens.
No, Turtle last week fell asleep in Discord. I just left you.
Really?
I'd be surprised if I didn't.
Oh, he's a turtle.
Yeah.
Am I not turtly enough for your turtle club?
You don't even know how to turtle.
No, Splints, you're allowed to fall asleep in Discord.
Teach me how to turtle.
I have.
One thing about Splints, he's never
And I
falls asleep
snore.
on Discord, so I don't know how that
I've fallen asleep
Never.
too.
Wait, why am I
Brains had to
part of that?
disconnect me probably about twice.
Because someone won't go to bed sometimes.
Yeah.
And there have
It's
been
rare.
2 times that she's actually fallen asleep because she was
Mhm.
laying down.
But
in Discord.
occasionally somebody wants
Mhm.
to have fun. If they happen to fall asleep in the process of having fun, that's so be
Except
it.
from my understanding, last weekend someone didn't go to bed until 4 a.m.
7.
after
Who was
I
that?
7?
popped
Oh,
off.
yeah, 7 a.m.
Yeah, it was like later than that, like 5:30, 6.
Trust me, I
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
to.
I think I got off Discord like 5:36, but then I decided I wanted a shower, so I got a shower, and then by the time I actually made it to bed, it was 7 a.m. in the
Next thing you
morning.
knew, your day just began.
It did, but I still went to sleep. I was like,
Well, I
Even though
sent her a
you-
bunch of memes,
I
hoping
should
she
have
would go to
just
bed.
disconnected you when I got off.
oh no. It was
her
my birthday night. I was allowed to stay up as late as I wanted to.
No.
Party
It's
if
my
I want
birthday.
to.
I can crash real hard if I want to.
Because
I
then
can't
how did you feel
not
after that? Huh? Not great.
How did you
right?
feel? Huh?
I slept
Huh?
all day. I was fine.
Yeah, exactly. You slept all day. What about
I
that kid?
suck at this game. No, no. You know, it's
We
fine
recover.
if you fall off the track.
Yo,
Right?
don't
It's
be
fine.
shaming people for having a good night's sleep.
You
Or
were
day,
tweaking.
as it were.
No.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Good day.
Yeah, I don't stay up all night very often anymore. I used to do it all the time. I used to do it all the time.
I
But
don't
now
know,
I
back in the
try to
day,
get
it was
proper
cool to
sleep
do it.
schedule.
Back in the day, it was cool.
I used to not even know what sleep was.
It's still fun to do it. Not gonna lie, I like being a night owl.
Nowadays,
I just
fall
try
asleep.
to stick to a
Wait,
schedule
y'all
because of
sleep? I
work.
thought that was a joke.
I thought real people don't sleep.
Woo, woo, lady.
Yeah.
155.
Lady
Alright.
cheat because she has that mod
There we
×2 ability.
All right, Grand Prix finale. Let's see.
If I don't win it, I'm going to cry.
It's okay. I suck too. That's why she doesn't let me. Join things. You have permission to be in this chat right now, Turtle. Don't even.
I was ready to go.
Lady comes in out of nowhere, races one race, and gets third
It's
place.
third place. I know.
One race.
She has mod abilities.
Hold on, didn't I?
Joffrey only did 2, I think. I don't. Was Joffrey there for the first race?
I thought I got
don't think
2
so.
wins. Maybe not.
No,
Maybe it
you're
was
gonna
just
win.
Desi got first. Oh, Desi didn't join the first race either. So I don't know what's going on here.
Like I said, did we all get super drunk in the first race and not race?
I don't think so. The first race didn't count
I
apparently.
mean, to be fair,
It's
I was
totally
not
rigged.
here.
I
I was
think
too
anybody was
busy
here
with
for the
interviews.
first race. Except for me, Michigan, and Wiggles, and we're not even on the podium. And we were here
No,
for
the
the
thing
first
is, I was
race.
too busy doing interviews,
Rigged.
and then
It's
I
rigged.
realized I
It's
had
all
to
rigged.
race.
It's rigged.
It's always rigged.
Oh. So yeah, like
How dare y'all?
there you go.
Oh, I was close. I was in 4th.
It is
Ah,
rigged.
Wait,
it is.
so me and Spark tied for first because we had 39 points.
In 2 total races.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But your 39 is bigger than his
Mhm.
right now.
Yeah, somehow. Somehow.
We won't get into that. It's okay.
No, we're gonna
We'll
vote.
start comparing sizes
no,
right
like-
now.
There's not a tiered thing for ties. So someone has to be second place.
Well, we
And
have
I think it just chose alphabetical order.
If you ate first, you're
We feel
biased.
bad for Canadians sometimes.
Wow, shots fired.
Oh boy.
No. Oh no.
He's
You
just
guys are
jealous
terrible.
because he thinks he's
Am I
Canadian,
ready?
but
Am
he's
I-
not.
I can play. I can play. Yeah. Okay.
Fabrication. Join the race. Exclamation play to get your marble on the track.
Dude, I got my marble.
I'm not
Yeah.
NBC.
Did I do it too quick?
No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Myrtle, we see you. You can go like this.
Play cheats on, please.
I definitely didn't notice him join though. Hi, Turtle.
I can't hear it because I'm live. I can't hear anybody join. So
Actually, you know what's funny about that? I didn't hear the dudunk either.
he's got hacks. Then he made it where we can hear it when he joins.
He's like the Discord,
He do be sneaking in places, so.
the Masterson
Mm.
or something. I don't know.
Oh, Jessica. All right, start. Okay, we got
Dooby-doo.
7 marblers on the track out of a possible 1,000. We gotta work on that. We gotta work on that.
1,000. That's a big number.
we gotta work on that.
Holy
gotta get
everybody
Could
get
we
your
actually
friends.
have 1,000 marbles? That would be
Mhm.
amazing.
You would
Oh,
never
yeah.
win.
You would
When-
never win, but it would be so entertaining.
If you got like
Sometimes
people on
the-
Twitch, you might be able to get that because everyone.
Some streamers
Still,
do play it with that many people. Like once in a while, they'll touch marbles and they
It's
have that many
crazy.
players.
It's also
You
because
can
it
also
doesn't
do-
use the resources of
Did you just say they touch marbles?
your machine, so
did
it's
it purposely that way.
it's a great thing to sit here and bullshit and do.
It's
Okay.
fun.
I mean, I
You
take
can
this
also
very
do like a
seriously.
test game and
I'm
just
gonna go
do
esports.
bogus marbles just to see what it looks like, and that's fun too.
Esports.
Basically, fill it
Yeah,
with bots.
because
yeah.
I've been using the WSD.
But through the
I'm
game.
sorry, did somebody say that was a thing?
What?
Oh no, I got held up. I'm
What are you doing back there?
I'm cuddling with the
The
walkers.
walls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good at pachinko though, so watch out.
You're like, hey, wall, what's it?
Or wasn't Plinko on The Price is Right?
Yeah, I said pachinko, but
Yeah,
you're
no.
right. Yeah, it was Plinko on Price is Right. Yeah.
Who comes out of the tunnel first? Lady Rain.
Ooh,
Yeah, always
ooh!
comes
I
out of-
found a shortcut.
Into the
Ooh,
funnel.
liquid metal. Like, what was that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's
Some weird metal that I don't know.
Down.
This
Left,
looks like
right,
snake
left,
skin.
right, baby.
Adamantium.
I
I'm
haven't
trying
seen that
to
in a
cheat.
while.
I'm feeling
trying
a
to
little
cheat.
slithery.
Yep.
Well, did you notice when I hit play, I said cheats on, please?
Do you see what I put in?
Yeah, I saw it.
Wait,
Interact.
play 11? Yeah. Oh, up, yeah, okay, the Konami code? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look! I'm in the lead! I'm not really, but...
Well, you can pretend.
Yeah, keep saying I'm in front,
Yeah.
but I don't.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
hammers,
Because we're all
so.
in the same.
Well, who's
We're
getting
so close
hit?
together, it can't decide who's first.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
Michigan and I are doing like a little dance, and then we're gonna get on the conveyor belt.
Yep.
Dude, we did that. We do that all the place, like all the time.
Watch out, Lady
Dude,
Rain.
you're not supposed to tell everybody.
okay. about. Okay, so what's conveyor belt code for then?
Again, we're not talking about it.
Oh, is this one of those what happened at Splint's house stays at Splint's house? That's what I have.
Of course it does.
Oh no.
One day
I like
him
you
and
missed a
Paolo
lot
were
those
busy.
17 days. All those top secret things.
How did you know it was 17 and not 14?
It was 17.
Because Michigan talked about it so many times that it was 17
Well, I
days. Or at
included
least
the train.
he was traveling for 17 days.
He He was.
I was
yeah.
away for
Yeah.
17 days. Yes.
We
And
did.
his cat thought he
I
died.
can't believe how
No,
close we
we
were
swallowed off.
to the hockey
Jeffrey,
game.
I'm about to
That
get off
was
my ass,
amazing.
okay?
Yeah, it was a great time
You-
because
you're
my
getting
hockey
too
game
close.
was awesome.
Made it into the packaging peanuts first.
Those aren't
They look like
packaging peanuts,
dino
those are
nuggets.
packaging
Hey,
elephants.
let's go pack him
I
up.
know, they look
Wait,
like
nobody
dino
else
nuggets
joined.
or something.
Yeah, I made it in.
This
Three
is why I
people
didn't
survived.
because I don't want to get packaged.
That's
you
a
don't wanna
lot.
be packaged with your
of
peanuts.
No, I don't want to
What's
get
the
I don't want
actual
any
fact?
packages.
Where did Lady
See,
Rain
Turtle
go?
joined, but muted? They're
That's
muted?
what he does.
What happened to Lady Rain? She died?
Probably.
Aiken has win. I came and she left. I played. That's because you were saying mean things to her, Turtle. You were saying
You were
mean
so
things
rude.
to her.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Y'all use
I hope her
numbers and
computer's
stuff.
okay.
Yeah, I
It
like my
is.
yellow
We
ball.
reinstalled Windows earlier.
Exclamation play if you're joining. Exclamation play to get your marbles on the track.
You should have seen it, Kimono. She took the whole thing apart, and then we put in a new hard drive. We reinstalled Windows.
Lies.
It's not lies. It actually
Yeah.
Grubby!
Joe was
Grubby, you're
there.
gonna win this time, right?
You didn't
Oh,
pay me enough
no.
to say yes or no. Just kidding.
Who burned my butt?
Exclamation play to get your marbles on the track.
How do I get away
It
from a
has
burned
5
butt?
Domino's pizzas tomorrow. That's a lot of
has later.
pizzas. I mean, you can use the special and get them for $6.99 each. It's not a bad deal. 5's a lot though. Are you gonna eat all 5?
How does that happen?
Michigan licks cat. Do it. I dare you. I taste salty. I taste salty. I'm telling you.
Kimono, you rarred me, and then I rarred myself.
No, you took the lighter from her, and then shit. You were-
Like, ooh, I like this. I'm gonna do it again.
Ooh, I hate like that.
Not really.
Ooh, I
Indifferent.
think I
It's
like
a
it.
medium
Ooh, I
and
think I
large.
like it.
Yeah. I get the medium ones.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, I think they're $6.99 each here. They might be $5.99 each where you're at or something. That's what I get, the medium ones.
No.
The specials.
This one. Didn't we just do this?
Go to Texas
No.
prices. You see, I don't get it. Why is Texas so much cheaper than Florida?
For gas?
They don't have.
No, talking about food prices are so much different. They're like
Oh,
a
'cause there's a
dollar
lot
cheaper
more
for
land.
everything in
There's
Texas.
a lot more land.
Yes, easier.
And that's why prices are cheaper is because and the food because there's more land.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because a lot of it is naturally produced within the
Yeah,
state,
it's
so it's just
easier to.
a general cost of freight
Yeah,
reduces.
Missouri.
exactly.
You like? You mean
The
like
price.
Because everything
farmland,
is cheaper here.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like beef.
Like Michigan,
like-
like when it comes to corn, is free almost.
I mean,
It's
does Florida
obviously
is
free.
Florida starting to get California prices? That's what's happening. Because I swear, like tacos went from $1 to
And I
$3
swear
overnight.
to the moon.
Hey,
and
that's
sky,
me. Hey,
I'll
that's
be
me and
there.
my that's
Wait,
me and my wife's wedding song.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I saw. Okay, the people.
but
who
not
wrote
but
that
not
song-
but not all for one version. Montgomery Gentry's version, country version.
Oh.
Hey,
well,
Grubby!
okay, the people who
Look
did
at
the
me,
original,
Grubby.
I saw them
All
in
for
San
one.
Antonio at a
Easy
concert.
die.
I saw them do.
Why
their
does it
thing.
look all black though? You're like hidden and mysterious, hiding.
He's playing Shadow Marbles.
Yeah.
He's playing the wrong game.
Just tell
And
people I'm
honestly, I
winning.
meant to say they are playing Shadow Marbles. Is that one?
It's he. You're fine.
You come on, win. Oh, okay.
He oddly could be related to you.
Uh-oh.
Got kinky one day. I'm sorry. I was thinking of fall.
Big grubby. Mm-hmm.
You're just having all sorts of feelings because you got a lot of beds.
Ooh,
Oh, Wiggles, you just beat me.
I can bed wherever I want.
Oh my gosh. Did you always have a bed in that room, or only after everybody hung
No.
out? I was gonna
No,
say there wasn't a
after.
bed in there before.
No, there was not.
That was Rabbit's bed,
It's
actually.
still
So is
here.
that an air mattress bed or a bed?
Rabbit's under it.
It's air mattress, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Full disclosure, have you passed out on it on your own since?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Not passed out, but I've chosen to sleep in it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you made it from the chair that you passed out in to the bed.
Naughty.
Okay, so for a few weeks after they left, I didn't feel like doing laundry, so I didn't clean my actual bed sheets, and I slept
That
on this
makes
bed
sense.
instead. Yeah,
T put his bed up.
How did I
gave
win?
T my bed.
Hacks.
Yeah.
So waiting for
I
Meta to
slept
beat
in the
my bed.
basement with Michigan.
No.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Your gas is only $2.59 a gallon? What the hell?
that's pretty good. I think
So-
mine's like 3 something.
So what's crazy is that I live right on the state line. So in Illinois, right now gas is $3.69 a gallon. But if I travel 5 miles north and go across the border, Wisconsin to the first quick trip, gas is like $3.09 a gallon. It's almost 70
And that
cents
makes
cheaper.
it worth it, actually, because that's not that far.
Of course it
Yeah.
does. I only
Yeah.
fill up there, and it's quick
He's
trip,
like,
and
I only fill.
well,
think
and
we-
it's quick, and it's quick trip,
Dude, I
and they
do
have
gas
the
I just
the
checked.
premium 94 ethanol free.
I feel like everybody is moving to Florida and all our prices are turning into California prices because people won't stop
Probably.
moving here.
Well,
I'm not moving.
this is why I'm
so
on the
don't worry.
opposite side of the state.
I can tell you half my friends want to move here and half future plans to move here, so it's like,
Probably move
okay.
there when I
I'm gonna
retire.
move to Georgia.
See, I don't mind if my friends move here though.
Georgia.
It makes me not want to leave.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna go to
my.
Georgia.
I can make chicken Alfredo from scratch for 8 people for less than $20. That's good. I might could do that.
Absolutely. Look, anybody who
I
can
might
cook
could do
from
that.
home a good tasty meal for less than 20 bucks.
Thank you, Wiggles, for
I
gifting
applaud
Joffrey a
you.
sub. Thank you. Not for
Thanks,
you, Joy,
Wiggles.
but
It is it.
it's a club of subs. Alright, guys. Exclamation play to get your marble on the track if you're lurking and listening and have not put your marble on the track. Once it's burned again.
Dude, you have a
I'm gonna
bird
use
bus
that.
right
Nice.
now.
I'm gonna burn myself.
You gotta do it again. Cool downs.
Dude, your butt is so burnt.
Your butt is
Message
on
not
fire.
sent.
Yeah, it's because we hit too many in a row. I hit the button too
Yeah,
fast.
messages. Oh, I have to. Whoops. Whoa, I just hit full screen. That happened.
Do it again. Just send it again. It'll be fine. But yes,
Hey.
exclamation play to get your marble on the track if you're lurking and listening.
Nope, not
Exclamation play.
sent. I have to
Hold
type
on.
something else. But while I was trying to type something else,
There.
I hit F11 and it went full screen.
Michigan licks McGrubby. Is he tasty?
A little salty.
Oh, I got Michigan.
Whoa.
Whoa,
I didn't
buddy.
give you-
Whoa, buddy.
I didn't give you permission.
Hey, I haven't given anybody permission, but I've been hit twice. Also, but Kimono, what are you doing? It's been you both times.
What? You talking about burning your butt? It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
It's just what friends do, one to another.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Okay,
just like
I swear to God, this is the same.
put each other in the
level.
hot seat.
Is the beginning just the same and then it's different later? I
I
feel
don't know.
crazy right now.
You're going crazy, bro.
I feel crazy. Oh no. I'm somewhat in the lead, but not necessarily because
Yeah.
left
It changes
or
every
right.
2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it might be me. Maybe.
It is, yeah.
Sorta. Probably not though.
I feel like I keep getting messages
It's
sent. I
Desi.
keep hearing to be.
Doop, doop, doop.
Yeah.
No, it could be indefinitely.
Where,
though.
where is that
That's your,
going?
that's your other channels that you thought you had deafened, but somebody
No, I
said
have
here.
everybody deafened.
Oh.
I thought so too, but I keep getting hit
No,
with
I don't
hears.
hear the bloop bloop at all. Yeah.
Dude, I've deafened
Oh,
every
it-
channel I'm
maybe-
in because I don't really care that much. Maybe that makes me a bad person, but I
Ooh.
keep getting hit with here. At here.
At Splints.
No,
Maybe they just
at
love
here.
you.
Yeah, they're at.
Oh, at
Splints.
here and at everybody is the same. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
If you're
here-
on
here
Discord,
means
yeah.
If you're part of the channel, you're there.
Here.
If you're on Discord actively, yeah, it's supposed to ping you. At that moment, yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I have too many devices logged into Discord.
Well, that you probably just, yeah.
I suppressed
I'm always
Everything like, I'm a nerd. I have everything like, okay, these are working hours. I will not get notifications from these different
Right.
things.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
only get
Same way.
notifications from this during
But it's
working
my
hours.
computer. It's not my phone. It's the computer.
Yeah,
I
that's true. But
suppressed
you could just,
everyone in my
I guess you
channel,
could just
so-
close Discord when you're working. I mean,
No, I mean when I'm sleeping.
oh, well, then I turned my volume down. I have my volume all the way down.
That I watch
Yeah.
Ancient Aliens on while I fall asleep. You know, I don't mind
Same.
sharing that.
Same.
Where should you
Same.
get
I
first?
do the same. I do
You
the
watch
same.
Ancient Aliens?
Yes, on
To go
Netflix
to
right now.
sleep 'cause
Yes.
it's so calm.
Yes, that and on Netflix right now. There's a William Shatner one. William
Oh,
Shatner does
no.
like it's I think I win though. I think I win overall.
You did.
No, no, you had to pay me $20.
But yeah, there's one that's William Shatner, and it's like explaining the unknown. I think is what it's called.
Oh yeah,
And
the
you-
unknown.
We can talk about
And
this
you
for
know, and you
hours.
know his voice, right? Like especially when he's like,
You can't imagine.
dude,
You have the aliens.
if I have an
might
like
show up
I do a lot of
in your
audiobooks.
atmosphere.
I do a lot of audiobooks, and if I do an audiobook and I have a chance to use him as the reading voice, I always take it. He's
Wiggles
such a
is
great
first.
narrator.
So Wiggles, the reason I put Ancient Aliens on is because I've already seen it all multiple
Yep.
times.
Yep,
Yep.
same.
Yep.
I've seen all
That's the kind of
27
stuff-
seasons.
That's the only kind of stuff I can sleep to, is stuff that I've already seen every episode. Otherwise, I
Right.
can't sleep to
Aliens
that.
Brothers,
Right.
I love it.
I have your guys' face on because I've seen.
Wiggles, you won the podium.
The big
Wait,
yellow
do you
ball.
have a
Congrats.
poster of me or something? Like, what's going on here?
Just your butt.
Right,
Just
right.
but
Yeah, your butt's
you're
right
burnt-
on my TV.
You're burnt, but it has to be burnt.
it has been burnt twice by the same person.
Your butt is on fire.
Your butt is on fire.
This is better than.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about libraries.
I'm purposely avoiding the word that the song is all about.
Why? Michigan. Why?
Go
Why
get
exactly?
some candy.
Right,
Libraries.
library. It's just like-
Let's get some candy. Talk about all the sweets and sugars that we can eat.
I play slowly.
I think I'm gonna win with that.
I hope so. The
and
cheat
sometimes
code.
It's not about going fast.
Exclamation play, guys. Get your marble in the chat. Exclamation play.
Oh, you know what I should
I'm
have
gonna
done?
get your
was
bell burnt.
The Theodore.
Let's see if I get
Roosevelt.
splints again. Oh, I got Nick Dothy this time. I didn't get splints this time.
Getting all the butts.
Oh,
Finally, you
Everton,
moved
no.
on from me. What's going on?
Finally, I know. I'm sorry. I had to let you go.
Oh,
I wasn't getting the
let's see if I can-
response
let's see
I
if can-
wanted.
Let's see if I can bring it back.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
More. 2 to 1. Let's see what happens. 2 to 1.
Rawr.
I still got one up on you, Splints, though. Still got one up on you.
Mhm. But I called it.
You did.
Bagels burned his own butt. See, that's what happened to me, dude. That's so weird.
Ah!
And you burned your own. See, now the pattern is becoming apparent.
It's broken.
yeah.
It's
We
broken.
all have a bunch of warm asses.
I got cooled down.
It's better than a frozen butt. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, this runs I'm in, right? Well, this
Joffrey
runs-
got turtle.
Holy cow, I am like racing ahead. What is going on? Is it ahead? It's hard to tell.
I think you still gotta come back down. Turtle's in the lead.
Oh, I went
Michigan's
up.
on the back.
I went, this is a weird pachinko machine. I'm
Oh
just
my
saying.
god. Michigan just likes
He burns
spots.
the entire Poco community, but
Yeah. Yup. There you go. Turtle was trying to hide in the snow. I'm gonna point
it's
that
on
out.
cooldown.
Look, look, look.
Someone fell.
And the cooldown's like 1 second, so you can literally.
No,
Oh, it's
it
cool for
says
79
It's
seconds.
OP.
Oh,
Last time it was
geez.
129.
Maybe because we were all doing it. I bet if you do a different command, it'll work. Like a different sound. Like, this one. I bet that one will work.
I just tried to do it, and then Twitch cooled me down saying, you said that before.
Oh, it's Twitch being a butthead now. It's not
I'm
even
gonna
my
say
bot.
Hold on. Something different. There we go. Okay, now I can say RAR again.
Or do exclamation raw and a heart. It'll probably work.
It's still on cooldown for 29.
I think my regular bot's on cooldown, and then I think Twitch was cooling you down at the same time.
No, he got burnt in the
Oh.
butt so many times he has to be on cooldown.
Oh, I bet I have it set to like
Ooh,
only a user can use it so many times per hour, I bet, because I used to have people abuse it.
Like I said, get the lighter away from his butt, he'll cool down.
But because we're just goofing off, we don't care.
I've got ice. It's fine.
Ice,
Baby.
Yeah, you're just so crispy, you can't get any crispier, so you gotta wait.
I can't get any
What's that,
crispier.
medium
I'm already all the
rare
way
anymore?
crispy.
Okay, I'm going to see what the
Medium rare.
cooldown is on this command now.
What is this? I come back and I'm red.
Yeah, you fell off.
Who did
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Who
Cooldown.
did it?
We bullied your ball.
We got somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's a turtle.
The cooldown is 3 per minute for, I think, user. Yeah, user cooldown is
Rough.
3 per minute.
Honestly, just lick people.
So you can't do it more than 3 times in a minute. We're just like piling up here.
Oh,
Joffrey's
I
already in the
burned.
bowl.
Okay, hold on. This is interesting. I burned while it's a turtle, and then I splashed.
That's good though. 'cause,
Turtle's
yeah,
getting all the love.
I put the fire out. It's okay.
You burnt him, and then you at least got the water out.
I don't know if it's a him or them or whatever, but I burned them and splashed them.
You burnt the aliens.
It's a command too.
Oh, I'm sorry, turtle. You like being hot? I didn't mean to splash you.
I don't even know. Hug and Desi. There we go. Chips with splits. So it's Mr. Cat. There we go.
Okay, it's happened.
What happened?
I don't know. All right, let's see what happens there. Oh nope, I'm in love with the community game.
Yeah, you like Pokemon more than me, so it's okay. I
Mm-hmm.
can't blame you. Who doesn't like Pokemon more? Exclamation play to get your marble on the track, guys. Exclamation play.
Doing it.
Turtle's trying to get right.
I don't appreciate getting knocked off, okay? I would like you to.
Also,
No, your
Okay.
ball just fell off itself. We don't
And Michigan, no, I will not make out with you.
Why?
Look at turtle. Oh gosh.
Then I'm leaving.
Okay, I need to try and calm down from toddler. I'm going to play games, so I'll be lurking my phone. Thank you for the lyrics. Thank you, Hollow.
Later, hollow monstrosity.
I don't have any money. I
Did
can't
I
buy.
read that correctly? I think I did.
Yes.
You spent it on.
Congrats. Good job.
Grats, you can read
Proud
it.
of you.
Yeah.
English very well.
Nice.
Exclamation play, guys. If you're lurking and listening. Exclamation play. Join the race. Exclamation play. 53 seconds to go.
Wow. Going about it all
I
wrong.
used to have Marvel's commands for this too. I don't remember. Yeah, there it is. Play. I forgot. Yeah.
Pickles, I fucking love you, dude.
I need to look up and see what my own commands are for this game.
You don't even know.
Welcome! Molly the Human Onion, welcome back to the stream. Welcome.
The human onion.
What a name.
Mm-hmm.
What a name.
Don't
Onions
cover
have
your
layers. Don't judge.
I didn't mean to assume there, but
Nice Michigan. Is that the new
Wax
cheat code?
on, wax off. Yes, he's polishing his marble, getting it ready.
Oh.
Oh, hello. That's a cute rabbit. I love that thing. That's so cute.
oh, we're going through the countryside. Look out!
Let's go. Molly is gonna kick all our butts. Just
Can't
kidding.
see. So good.
All your butts and all your butts.
At least I don't
Oh,
have
Michigan.
a burnt butt.
I got a
Yeah.
boost.
Maybe.
Oh, Kimono, you overtook me.
I win.
I almost clicked the
I
wrong
win
things on the
instantly,
wrong
just-
screen. That would have been really bad.
I went from
Wiggles.
first to last.
That does not look like a win.
I went from first to last, like instantly.
Wiggles! No!
You popped the
Molly
tire.
fell off. Somebody go get Molly. Somebody jump. Just do it.
Somebody go,
Somebody
somebody
just
go get
jump.
Molly. What kind of
Somebody
night is this?
save.
Let's get Molly.
No marble left behind. Jump.
Crisscross will make it jump. Sorry, I
Oh,
gave away my age there. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
The
mission.
funny thing is that
I mean,
yeah.
splits. Oh my god, it's bad.
Words are bad.
Mhm.
Oh, look at me just wiggling
Words are
back
hard.
and forth.
They
That's
are.
what
They're
it is.
very hard tonight. I think my brain shut down like 2 hours ago.
I don't
that's
have a
okay.
I'm just on
brain, so therefore
autopilot
I
right
can't.
now.
Yeah. You're in Friday mode. Friday friend mode.
I am.
I'm in Friday.
Yay! Oh, you got one too. Where's our Harvard Scrabble? I like that. I like that.
Boop, boop, boop.
Love it. I even have a counter. There we go.
You just barely beat me to it.
Pickles! Dusty! Cat! Flint! Okay. Wait on a few more. Wiggles
At
is
least
burning
everybody
splits.
finishes?
Everybody likes burning Splits' butt. Just saying. There must be something
Guys,
about
can
Splits'
you-
butt. We just
Look
feel
at
like you're
Wiggles.
really
Like I
cold,
said, I want you. Me,
and we need to warm you
Peaks
up.
are on
You need-
fire.
My buns.
I want splits
Wait,
at
what?
165 degrees.
Oh, got you, Jaffrey.
Ooh, Jeffrey.
Oh, your buns are burnt.
Not my
Winner is Wiggles. Oh, the cute little
Not-
chickadee
not my
marble.
buns.
This is why I keep licking people, because
Aye,
Oh.
aye, aye.
To help them put them out when
yeah,
they're on fire.
exactly.
Oh, Splits is
But,
trying
yeah.
to cool me down now. He's splashing me now, so yeah. Ah, it got hot in here. Thanks, I needed that.
Huh?
Let's see. I'm gonna boob somebody. Boob's Desi.
Oh, that's right. That's
I
the thing,
forgot about
too.
the boot.
Desi gets a boop on the nose.
Wiggles.
Wiggles, he just punched you in the face.
I booped you. I punched you right in the nose, bud.
It's like, man,
Right?
Oh, right in the kisser.
Turtle. Ah.
Yeah, I love raiding with a party of one because it means you.
Oh boy. Oh, I forgot Nico's one too.
I don't have
Nico.
permissions to use raid.
9,000.
Should do shout out.
Over 9,000. Myrtle,
What does
Myrtle,
this
Myrtle.
counter say?
Let's see what it says WoW is playing and what the whole write up on WoW is.
Oh no, I got sideswiped. Oh no, I'm the last.
My
off the
Michigan
show.
licks Molly. Look at that face. Molly's like, what? You You can run, Molly. You can run. It's exclamation run.
You've been licked, Michigan.
I had to run first because it shows.
What the heck is this? This is new. Wow. Was last playing Seed playing Tom Clancy's Division 2. Wow, Turtle, the anime
Not only did I
obsessed
lick you,
hermit
I
of
was watching.
gaming? How did you get
Yeah,
anime
all
obsessed hermit of gaming? They're
Who's
all
probably
about the
Michigan bad?
virtual life, cozy on their chair, staying in the Division 2.
really just say
No
that?
recent
Okay.
broadcast to binge, but if you catch them live, expect the mic-less chill sesh. Silent but deadly in game, just like a Ninja Turtle.
Wiggles, I booped you again.
No, why?
Hey.
Turtle, that was a good description.
Okay, you got both cheeks now. You better stop.
Oh, a boop is on the
There's a
show.
2-cheek limit when you got 4
Oh,
cheeks,
it's
though.
little
Wiggles, you have 4 cheeks, so I mean.
Up,
More
down, left,
cheeks.
center. Let's see how you.
I
No,
used
you
to make them
started off
thick.
with the lower cheeks.
Alright, Molly's in the lead, making beautiful music. Headed right down to the bowl. Congrats.
And outside of the bowl. No, never mind. Okay.
Followed by Wiggles.
I win.
Second.
I win.
I didn't even
I
join
win.
because I didn't.
You got second?
You got second.
I didn't
Yeah.
join because I felt.
But I win the trophy. I win the trophy.
Ah,
First-
cat fell
I
off.
made some music and I got
I
it.
made this race 6 though. This one to the trophy is 6 races this time.
Outta
I
here.
changed it up
Oh,
on you
yeah.
guys. It's not 3 this
This
time.
anymore.
Which, so
You can't do what anymore?
This.
This.
Running out of
I
wax.
kid,
I'm running
I
out
kid.
of wax.
Come on, you can do it. Hey, which cheek, Turtle? That's how this works.
I'll be right back.
We'll
You
be right here.
can't do the same cheek twice.
I keep hearing cat
Put your butt
noises
through.
and I love it. Molly, is
Play
that a
pizza
sound
party.
effect when you join? I love the cat noises. Oh my gosh. Somebody keeps joining in, I hear cat noises, and I feel like at first I just thought it was in my head.
In Discord, you mean?
Maybe it's no, I think it's on stream.
We don't hear it.
There's different sound
Oh,
effects.
maybe.
If you download the app, you can have different sound effects to your marble when it joins, or also when it hits the bowl. It does different
Oh,
things.
So, it's
And so I keep
in
hearing a
Marble.
cat
I
on
see,
stream
I
in the
see.
game, and I'm like,
I
ah. I keep hearing. So either I'm hearing things, or there's
You
actually a
have to
cat
use
sound
the
effect.
Only Balls app.
The only balls out. Maybe it was me
It's
meowing.
called
You
the
don't
wax off.
No,
wax
I meant
on.
only marbles. What did I say?
No, you're talking about my only feeds. Sorry.
24 seconds, guys. 24 seconds.
I think I got in there.
Joe, what is your
Joffrey's
shirt?
tired to be toasted.
Ghost.
Ghost,
Oh.
my favorite
It's a
band.
band.
Yeah, it's my
Okay.
favorite.
Oh,
band.
Jeffron.
It's his
It's a new
favorite
shirt,
band
isn't it?
via T.
Jeffron, check out my shirt.
KimonoKat, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah. New shirt.
Sick.
New
Sorry.
cat shirt hype.
Dude, check out my underwear.
It
Oh,
fits
sorry.
you.
No,
it fits
I-
you well too. That's cool. It's like a baseball tee
Yeah.
kind of.
Mhm,
longer
It looks nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your. I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Michigan. But
No, I don't think I've
I-
ever seen him wear that shirt before either. So.
He just got it. That's why.
Oh.
It's a new shirt, yeah.
It's a brand new shirt from last week.
Alright.
Oh, SpaghettiOs.
What's it gonna be?
Oh.
What's it gonna be?
I'm just an
Michigan.
underdog today.
Until
Oh, you got
Steve
me.
stops him. Steve's gonna be rude.
Actually, I might go through this little swoop very untouched.
Steve
Nope,
is evil.
Nope, I hit the right in the middle of it.
Those things are the worst.
Steve really hung up Michigan because he was in the lead and now he's last.
Yeah, Fran, we were hanging out for a second, but
Now, cat, I'm using my
you might
here
miss
as much
the
as
goal.
possible. but I'm getting caught up in whatever this little chamber doohickey is. It caught me off guard. Now we go through the lead.
Did I get out or am I rolling?
Yeah, you're out. You're good.
The holy spinny
okay.
thing. Holy spinny thing.
Look at you meowing. You don't know.
Wiggles. I'm
Bye,
getting out
bitches.
for you, buddy.
Bye, bitches. I'm outie. I'm outie.
Not you gonna fall off.
Smell you later.
Are you Audi 5000?
Yeah.
Oh, Molly's going through all the Steve eggs.
I also burnt you on your way out.
You went on your own. Shall go through the Steve
Molly
eggs
just
first,
got me.
followed by
No,
Wills.
no,
Minutes.
Stop it.
Come on, Molly. Let's see what your splash looks like.
Get it, boy. Yeah,
Oh,
bye.
Wills comes in with Flint and then Molly.
Yeah, give it to me. You're first.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable
Ah.
with that statement, but yeah, we got in there.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
What weren't you comfortable with?
Nothing.
But stuff.
On
That
the
was okay.
ice.
You got burned.
I got first.
Join,
I ain't winner.
join me in the snow globe.
Chicken.
Join me. Exclamation play to join the snow globe.
Don't be salty.
Frosty the Snowman. He was a crazy, crazy guy. He's in a globe, and it's not even snowing. But he's got 3 fingers on an arm.
It wasn't snowing before Frosty got there. Sorry.
We gotta shake it up. It's snowing harder.
Exactly, Frosty.
You gotta shake it up. Shake
No,
shake
stop.
it up.
Please stop. For the love of
But you don't like Taylor Swift? Come on.
No, I do not.
Shake it up.
I have a 15-year-old daughter. No, I do not like Taylor Swift.
That's exactly why I knew you didn't like it.
For the
7
love of
seconds,
God.
guys.
I'm not gonna lie. I like a
I don't think
couple
Dusty
older
made it.
songs, but I don't.
No, I don't think Onion made it either. No.
I'm sorry.
All of
I,
our
I don't mean to offend the Swifties. I
I'm
just
not offended. I don't care.
no. I'm talking to the
You
more
gotta
so
be
into
careful,
chat.
because they're gonna come for you.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have a 15-year-old daughter, and
Lemon's
all I
my
hear
biggest
is
50.
hear an awful lot of
But
Taylor
not
Swift.
that way.
More than
Lemon
I
is
would
my
like
biggest
to
one.
have in my life.
How did I get so far ahead? What happened?
Because your ass is on fire. Your cheeks are on fire.
I almost went to one of her concerts. Almost. I was this close.
You say
I
you
was
like
in
your
line to
video
buy
words.
tickets, but they were too much, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not paying that amount. I didn't realize how much tickets cost.
I can't pay $1,200 to see Taylor from 5,000 miles away.
Oh,
Dude, you couldn't pay me
no.
$1,200 to watch her from. Yeah.
I would have had to go all the way to
Wasn't
Tampa. I didn't want to go to Tampa, and then I
You
would have
know
had to
what's
pay
funny? I
like
can look her up on
$500
YouTube.
for a nosebleed
Hold on,
section,
hold
and I didn't want
For
that.
free.
$500 you said for a nosebleed section?
Yeah,
For what concert? For a Forrest Swift concert?
Taylor.
Not
Yeah,
the current
see-
one, though.
That's outrageous, right? Is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Was it like at the end of the entire thing? Like,
Oh, and I
Did
had
you-
like
Oh no!
first
Did somebody-
up dibs on tickets and stuff, you know. And
did you
like,
feel like you
no.
got your money's worth? Like, do you feel like you got $500 worth of entertainment?
Did you
I didn't
get
go.
that?
I didn't.
go, dude.
Oh,
I stood
I'm
in
sorry.
line to get the. Well, I stood in line online to get the ticket
Trying
because
to
I
get
had
the
like
tickets, but
advanced
didn't get the
ticket
tickets.
availability through Ticketmaster. I was like, okay, I got to get in line like a day before other people.
Mhm.
And once I realized how much it cost,
Sorry,
I was like,
hello.
yeah, no, I didn't realize they were this much.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
thank you.
That's how much I
Because
paid for.
I like Taylor, but I'm not like, oh my god, obsessed with Taylor, you
Right.
know.
I paid
So
around that much for a 3-day outdoor music festival.
Yeah, event. Yeah,
6
I have to-
stages and
right.
100 different groups.
just watch her online for
Special.
free, right, Turtle?
I'm just saying. What,
I know.
Ta-
I'm just messing.
Taylor
with
must think she's special. Is going to charge that much for a fucking ticket.
It's all Ticketmaster all does it based on demand. That's the issue. Our tickets are so high in demand that the prices are that high. It's Ticketmaster's
Even with
the issue.
Guess what? People pay it.
Oh yeah, supply demand and
Oh yeah, for good tickets it was like
and
$1,200.
demographic too. Like she obviously, she feels like she can charge that much because
She's
it
killing it.
addresses
Yeah.
a different demographic of people. You
should
know
be
what I
able to
mean?
change the price,
different
like,
status of
lower
people,
them. Yeah,
you know.
And I have to admit,
Yeah,
her.
And
Imagine being a father having 3 kids, 3 daughters that are like Swifties that are, you know, you're
Right.
paying $1,500 for these
She's
3
gonna
kids to go
bankrupt
there,
you.
you know.
Now the last
There's-
album.
So that reaches a certain demographic, you know, people that can afford shit like
Mhm.
that. You know? It's
The
unfortunate
last
that's how it is.
album, the Poet Society one, I'm not as big of a fan of, but the one before that, I actually liked.
Yeah.
Now before that, I was never really a Taylor Swift fan, really per
You
se.
weren't a
You know?
Swiftie?
No, until like the album before the last one. Then I actually like really liked that album. But this one, honestly, I'm sure this one is great. But I've just listened to a couple songs and they're kind of like, it's really kind of it's about poetry. A lot of it's like really sad and that's just not where I'm
Ballady.
at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want happy, hyper,
Right,
hype
positive,
music.
uplifting,
Positive.
yeah.
That's where I'm at. So I don't want music that's gonna bring me down, and I feel
So
like
you
the
probably
last
shouldn't listen to Taylor
soundtrack will
Swift
bring you
then.
down. Mhm. Well, her other
Taylor
album
Swift
wasn't like
means
that. It's
Eminem.
this one, yeah. So, a person
I apologize,
that I
when
like
said
to
all
listen
her
to,
albums
might help
are
if I
about
hit
the
start.
last bad boyfriend.
A person that I like listening to is called Aurora. She's from
Borealis.
Norway.
Aurora? Yeah, she's great.
Mhm.
I like her as well.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, I
Aurora's
I really
music.
like
That one's one of my favorites.
her. Oh, she's
That artist.
wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah, she's fixing to launch one, or she just launched a new album, I think, on the
Oh, really?
4th, right?
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. Now that I think about it, I think it came out on the 4th. It's like I was so busy this week, I hadn't listened to it yet.
I chose this time to play poorly.
You play what?
As
it's
opposed to any
wax,
different
it's
night.
not wax.
So you're just staying consistent with your everyday, right?
Yeah.
Exclamation point,
Anyways.
guys!
Wiggles.
I'm gonna
it
go
works for
eat
me,
some
okay?
food. I'm gonna go eat all the food.
Michigan, you're abandoning us!
I know.
food?
I'm gonna eat some food. Go to bed.
us. He
Read a book.
I'm surprised I'm outlasting Michigan. It's midnight.
Hey, did you cut all your firewood today?
Alright, cheers, Michigan.
Michigan?
You take care.
I will do that tomorrow.
Love you long time.
I was a little bit lazy today.
Heard that
Catch you,
before.
man.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, take care, guys.
Bye.
Smell you later.
Enjoy your book.
Yep. Good night, man.
Are you serious? What?
He said he was gonna go eat and read a book.
I only believe half of that.
He's gonna eat a book. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
So you actually eat at midnight?
Well, him and his dad, they...
Now you know how I feel when you abandon
no,
me.
I got stuck.
The tires.
When do we abandon you, Turtle?
I did say play poorly, so it's my own fault.
Even better than me.
Woo! Jaffron, you went
Daily. It's called sleep. It's called sleep. And work. And things. Oh, everybody's getting hung up on the tires.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wiggles. Oh no.
This is the last race, by the way, before the whole reveal of who
The
won out
podium.
of these 6 races. We went for 6 races this time.
I'm winning.
Wait,
I'm
how did
winning.
I end up in
If
the
I
first
play
place?
third or better, I think I win.
You probably did win. Although Split's
I feel-
giving us his best shot.
I feel like I need like an anime soundtrack to go along with this.
I feel like you're fucking
it?
cheating.
What's the song? Give it my
It
best
said
shot or
play
best
poorly.
shot or I don't
Oh,
remember.
yeah, that's how I'm playing poorly. I ran right into the fucking.
Right into the
tires.
middle of it.
Joffrey is like, no tires getting in my way.
He's like, what do you mean? I'll have it.
Oh,
my
dude, look at me. He's like,
way."
thanks for getting those out of my way. Jaffrey, dude,
Well, I got
you're
lucky
in.
there.
Hey, God.
Yeah, Joffrey's in a different time zone right now, and we're all way back here trying to catch up.
Oh, he ran into the hubris that I had. The middle tire.
Yeah, now I'm stuck in there. Oh, wait.
No, Joffrey's free. Oh, wait, no, he found another set of tires to get stuck on. Come on. Oh, look at those moves. Come on now.
Look at those moves. Look at this.
Ah, look at he's just knocking them all down to slow everybody else down.
Oh,
Congrats,
no,
Shopping.
he wins. And I'm right behind him. Oh, I was.
Congrats.
What happened?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, ball.
I got 2 first places in this.
How did I get stuck?
You got 2 first
Yeah, you
places.
might-
Ooh, it's
yeah,
gonna be
you
down to
might
you and
be
Wiggles
done.
then. It's gonna be down to you and Wiggles. Alright,
Third.
final results.
Aggressively third.
Nobody fell
Dead
off this
last.
round. That's impressive. Alright, let's finish the Grand Prix with the drum roll. Who is it going to be? Third place.
Aggressively third. Is
Joffrey got third
Oh,
place.
no.
Not as high up on the podium as we thought after 6 races, but well played, Paige to the podium. Second place goes to Wiggles. We thought Wiggles had first.
Oh, shit.
It's a mystery of
It's
who
Splints.
is first place. You think it's Splints?
It's not
Let's
me.
find out.
It's Mono. It's gonna be
It's not
Mono.
me. It's probably you.
Yeah.
My hacks and I won!
Get wrecked, hoes.
All the hacks. That's why Splints is crying in chat. Exclamation cry is not a command, but yeah.
I know it's not.
I will give
Funny
you some
though.
hugs though. There you go. Oh no, Turtle stole your hugs. So
No, you hugged her.
he blocked you.
I'll just hug myself.
Blocked your
Oh,
hugs.
wow.
When I think about you, I hug myself.
I just did. It's literally.
When I think about you, I hug myself. That's great.
Because you're good enough and you're strong enough and gosh darn it. People.
Oh, hugs all around. There we go.
People.
Alright guys, that's it for stream tonight. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing. I had fun this Friday night. I hope you did too. I will see you guys next stream. Stay tuned for stream schedule, things, stuff. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you. Let's check something real quick. I'm looking to see who's streaming. I'm going to be nice and actually put in a raid tonight. Let's do this.
You're gonna raid somebody with
Us weirdos. A bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, why not? Pass on the
I'm
weirdo.
a weirdo.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
I have
Okay.
not seen this
So this
person
is
play
totally off the subject.
Minecraft before.
So my wife and I
He's
went on
got
a
a
family.
Tumblr. My
No,
wife.
so my wife and I went on a family vacation a while back.
Uh-huh.
It was sponsored by by her mom, and like so she like did this whole
Literally,
thing.
your mom has a Tumblr.
So she got everybody cups. Like everybody, it was basically a family reunion, and everybody that went there, she got everybody cups.
With their own name.
With their own name, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm drinking. So I have mine from yesterday that I haven't put away. I'm sorry.
Mine.
So it's got my name on it. And I'm sitting here and I thought I grabbed mine out of the cupboard and
You grabbed your wife.
it's got my wife. It's got my wife. Sorry.
Nice.
So,
No,
I just looked
you're
up. I'm like,
fine.
oh.
Same color, pretty much.
Mhm.
look like.
Hey, just make
I
sure
think
they
that-
both make
Alright,
it
good.
into the dishwasher.
So we're gonna raid J3 with 17 peeps. We're gonna go say hi. He is playing Minecraft. I don't think I've ever seen him play Minecraft.
Since you said peeps, can't we just say peep when we join? Like just peep.
Yeah, if you want.
All right, let's do some peep.
Peep. Okay, like peep, and then like
P. Like that.
like one-y?
No, two.
No,
Didn't
that's
I
not-
do two?
Okay. I only see
Okay.
I
one.
do two.
We're not
No,
gonna
no,
do
you
that
only
route.
did one. Just kidding. Just kidding. Throwing you off. Okay, so let's raid like that. So, copy pasta if you want.
Oh yeah, there we go. With the emotes and everything. Yeah, sure. Perfect.
Yeah, if you want.
If you wanna
If I can do
you
it.
can peep with me.
Yeah, copy pasta. It's timing out. See you guys next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Peep.